Tonight we're going to be talking about how Sakari called me on the phone while they were trolling the urban apologists at the Epiphany event put on by Pastor Eric Mason and his folks out there in Philadelphia. And what happened? What happened? Well, they showed up and things got interesting. So I am going to give everyone the other side because I know a little bit about this, and I think that this is important to talk about. And before we do that, there's a few verses I want to share from the book of Proverbs. So if you have a Bible, we're going to look at a couple of verses here I'd like to share from the book of Proverbs, and they're relevant to a few things tonight. Proverbs 6:16 and 19 says this: "There are 6 things the Lord hates, 7 that are detestable to him: haughty eyes, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked schemes, feet that are quick to rush into evil, a false witness who pours out lies, and a person who stirs up conflict in the community." Very essential for tonight's program. But also Proverbs 12:19, "Truthful lips endure forever, but a lying tongue lasts only a moment." Proverbs 12:22, "The Lord detests lying lips, but he delights in people who are trustworthy." Amen. Proverbs 14:5, "An honest witness does not deceive, but a false witness pours out lies." Proverbs 19:9, "A false witness will not go unpunished, and whoever pours out lies will perish." Proverbs 21:6, "A fortune made by a lying tongue is a fleeting vapor and a deadly snare." These are good. Psalm now, in the book of Psalms, this is Psalm 101, verse 7. "No one who practices deceit will dwell in my house. No one who speaks falsely will stand in my presence." Yes, I read those verses specifically aimed at many of the men in Sakari, specifically. I wish I didn't have to do that. I wish it wasn't relevant. I wish that wasn't the case, but it is the case. And I'm going to explain why as we go on. But I think the way to do it tonight is to pause on that and then take a little trip down memory lane. And just give me a second. We're getting there. As we begin our journey, this trip of memory lane, I do want to briefly say that the thumbnail to the program, in case it wasn't obvious, this is not a literal conversation. I'm not sharing a text message. To me, it's obvious. You know, the photos are not circle cropped like it would be on a phone. The font's not exactly the same. It's stylized somewhat. This is sort of an imitation of part of a conversation that I had with the gentleman pictured. I thought it was a funny way to get the point across, but just in case someone's like, "Oh my gosh, this vocab sharing text messages." To me, that's only a last resort effort, because I don't hold to that being something that should be really done unless there's like basically an emergency situation. It's unseemly to me, but this is not that. This is an imitation. It's an artistic rendering of sorts, and I thought it was kind of funny, and you'll see why. But here's some other pictures and videos I want to show briefly about what happened and whatnot. Let me show you here real quick. Namely, I've been to Epiphany a few times. And I've been part of the Thriving Frequency event a few times. In fact, I'm going to show you something on the screen. Last time I was there, this is how I presented. This was actually my presentation. I did a game called Hebrew Israelite Jeopardy. My presentation, I was trying to be a little creative, where I would go through categories of things and ask people questions based upon the different categories, just like in Jeopardy. I literally, did the whole Jeopardy thing. Let me give you an example of what I'm saying of how it looked real quick here. It looked like this. This is how it looked, the Hebrew Israelite Jeopardy game. I'm showing my presentation last time I was there. Varieties of Hebrew Israelism. Now, this is part of the presentation before I did the game part, but I set up the whole aesthetic like it was Jeopardy. I thought it was pretty cool. I don't know if everyone appreciated it. I think I might have got a kick more out of it than some people in the audience. I don't know if the references were lost on people or what. But here's how it looked when we actually went through the different questions we had. So I would tell people to take a certain topic, a category with the money. So they would have to go, I'll take esoteric interpretation for $200 vocab. I'll take Israel alone for $100 vocab. I'll take Hebrew identity for $300. I'll take I've heard this one before from Matthew 5:17. Anyways, or I didn't say that one right, but you get an idea. So I've been there before, and I have some idea of what's going on there. I hope one day to go back. We shall see. But I've been there some other times too. Let me just show you real quick. This is when there was the debate that happened between Jabari and
Philadelphia,
Vince Bontu.
Pennsylvania. Here we are with the squad.
Hold on.
Marcus Webb in the house.
What's going on? What's going on? The myth, the legend.
What up? Adam Coleman in the house.
Good. Hey, Pastor Tim Allison. You know what it is, bro.
Well, this is audio
And
from when
David
we were
Wood in
there.
the house, D-Dub. What you got there, man?
This is not what I'm
All right.
telling you. Hold on. Let me try to fix it real quick. I just want to show you guys when we were there. I thought it was a pretty cool thing, but you know what? That's going to go too far. Maybe I'll show that later video. But here's what I want to show. One more thing. I'll just show this picture real quick. This is when we went to the debate. This was at a different time. This wasn't an Epiphany. Me, David Wood, and Adam Coleman there went to Geno's, which I'm not saying was awful, but I don't necessarily recommend it. It's just, if you're going to have a tourist spot, you need to do a better job. And Geno's and Pat's are just all right. So I hear Jim's is the way to go. And some people try Max's, but I don't know if that's the place either. But we'll find out. So this is us there. This is not at Thriving Frequency. This is the debate. But I draw your attention to Marcus here, my friend, because when we do this stuff sometimes as Christian apologists, people wonder, has anyone come out of this movement? Well, on the screen is Marcus Webb. Marcus Webb started the VA camp for IUIC. He was in there for 7 years. Very dedicated. And his twin brother as well. Marcus Webb now is a born-again Christian. He's reformed. He's a family man. He's well-balanced and healthy and doing very well. And it's amazing to see. And so I just point that out because isn't that cool that he went from being a guy in the corner to a guy who now is with Christian apologists going to watch a debate where somebody, Vince Bontu, defends the faith against a scoffer. Isn't that beautiful? The Lord is faithful. Well, back to the time when we were there with Thriving Frequency, I want to show what happened out of that. I know I'm skipping around a little bit here, but I talked to Hassad. That's him on the screen, and that's him talking to Alazar as we had our dialogue. I just want to show some of the comments in the live chat that some people decided to leave. Micah 144,000 during the live chat when I had a very peaceful dialogue with Hassad. I need vocab found dead. And if you watch the dialogue with Hassad, it was very peaceful and calm, and we were discussing the Bible. And yet, Israelites just can't help themselves to say things like, I need vocab found dead. Yehovah Israel, I hope that's Gorilla on the phone. Well, it was Gorilla Hebrew on the phone. Look at Nappy growing. Man, I believe the Most High is going to let every Israelite line up and put a wipe on his ass. A little odd there, but that's what he's saying. But you may think, oh, that's it, No. So while I'm talking to Hassad and the video premiered here in the live chat, it's on the channel, by the way. Someone dropped that link. I see D-New and Nate. What's up, y'all? Check out these. He don't want to get stomped out. You straight line on the nation, vocab, you a hoe. Whoever get vocab on their plantation in the kingdom better whip his ass to pieces. How you doing, Michael Woodyer? Is you being godly there? You practicing the spirit of self-control? And you may think, man, that's messed up, man. You know, now remember, this is back in 2019. Unfortunately, not a lot has changed. You know, let me just show you some more here. Ready? Why is he a devil? Check out Colin's comment. This fat bastard needs cancer. Die a slow death. This fat bastard needs cancer. Where do people come up with these things? Well, I don't know, but they got a lot more than that. Check this out. No swag, ho-ass baloney. Why couldn't this fat ass have been in that caravan in Mexico that got shot up? This is a comment they're leaving. Right when we're just talking the Bible here. And this is what they're saying. This is how it goes, you know? And unfortunately, I'm going to be honest, these comments usually are much worse when you're dealing with Sakari than any other group. They show the greatest propensity to this type of behavior. Check this out. Michael Woodward, I'd pay 1,000 to slap fire from that heathen liar. All right, okay. So people want to pay money to slap. Okay. You may think, well, you know, this is kind of a lot. You're overdoing it, vocab. Well, I'm just going back and showing comments from this calm discussion I had. Colin, that's vocab's position. Future bondservant with a daily hour beating coming every hour on the hour. How does he know the Most High's schedule for whipping me, huh? Tired of lying ass vocab. He needs smited. That means killed in OT language. This cracker has none understanding. Yeah. So, oh, by the way, this is when the video premiered on the Sakari channel. By the way, not my channel, but I did premiere it on my channel as well. But this is when it was on their channel when they played it here. Okay. Let's see what let's see. Hassad would love to slap the ish out of vocab, I'm sure. Vocab, if you're watching, this is son of Yahweh. Vocab, if you're watching, imagine me spitting in your whole family's face. Wouldn't that be faces? My family doesn't just have one face, you know? This is what we have to put up with, but it's worth it because people like Marcus Webb come out. They come out. Paul's letters, not law. Vocab alone. This is Tribe of Issachar 888. Vocab alone, do us all a favor and drop dead, you damn devil. It's like this. Why can't you just have a conversation about Scripture? Watch the video between Hassad and myself from 2019. We were just talking. Why is this a reaction? This just shows so much about your religion, guys, and about your group specifically. Let me tell you a little bit of what it shows. It shows that it's emotionally driven. It shows that the people involved are not regenerate because their characteristics are of violent men. It's not natural unless you just mean carnal, but it's not natural for a Christian, for someone who's born again. It's not normal for them to react this way about a discussion about the Bible if you're born again. It's not, I would say this is not even normal behavior for a lot of just other types of worldly people. This is almost like worse, where you're having a discussion and you just want to kill the person, want to harm them. There's a fetish for violence in this cult. Show me there's not a fetish for violence in this cult. You see this? Clearly, there is. Justin Bueno, his tone made me want to choke his ass. Do he know Hassad do this for real? Even his body tone, putting his hand gestures in a down motion and a subliminal trying to put your eyes at a lower level. What? So these are the comments that are left. So you can understand why Pastor Eric Mason wasn't real keen to talk to Sakari when they showed up at their church yesterday. But let's actually watch the video. I have the video of Sakari outside of the conference. I'm going to play clips. I don't have everything. Some of the video is kind of hard to hear because it's on the street, but I'm going to fill you in about what's happening. I'm going to play it. I'm going to comment. I'm going to stop it. Then I'm going to play some of, hopefully I get to it, Hassad, his commentary on it. Shout out, though, to our first super chat of the night, Alan Torres. Alan Torres, thank you so much. You get the applause. Much respect. You've been supporting the last 4 live streams we've done, and then you even followed up with one later. I want to greatly thank you for caring about this small little ministry enough to do that. It means a lot because it takes a lot to keep this thing going, especially with this type of stuff. I don't even show this stuff all the time, but it goes down. It goes down. It's pretty regular. It's pretty normal. But who wants to see this video? And by the way, while it's playing, I'm going to set up a poll. So here we go. Let's get into it. This is the video.
People are walking out and not ever coming back. It's because you don't care about what's going on outside of the doors of the place.
What? You don't care about what's going on outside doors. Okay, first of all, Gorilla Hebrew just wasn't around. He just doesn't know what he's talking about. It's just an insult. Let me explain what I'm saying here. I wasn't in Philly when this happened, but I was around in the circles when this happened. We're talking about what? When Epiphany was first planted. I distinctly knew about it and heard about it. And the main reason is that time I was geared in to who was one of the founders at the time, Deuce, Ambassador. He was part of the founding. I knew less about Pastor Eric Mason at that time, but I got to know him by downloading podcasts and many Epiphany sermons in the early days of Epiphany. Quickly, Epiphany was seen as very different from a lot of the churches in the network of Acts 29 that were being planted. Now, I'm using some church speak because I know a little bit about what was going on at that time. And that was a good thing, though, what they were doing. And it became known about their outreach and care and concern for the community, and they specifically went to a place where they were needed greatly. This is all strategic on Mason's part, even in those early days. And we heard about this in Phoenix. We heard about stuff they were doing in Phoenix at that time. And it was a grind. It was a real grind. This was not an easy setup, what they were trying to do. I could get into all the details of how difficult it was, but it was not easy. And all along the way, every step of the way, they were caring for their community in 1,000 different ways, some which I knew about all the way in Phoenix and through mutual connections and friends, and others which I'll never know about, but I know because of the general tenor and the approach and the things that they were doing there in that area. Him saying that is pure slander, and I'm just going to say something. Sakari, what the hell do you guys do for the community? You put people in your organization and make them pay money to you and make them have this allegiance to their leadership. You teach them a bunch of false doctrine. You teach them to hate people, to dislike people, that acting up and bad behavior that's against the scripture is okay as long as it's against the right person. You waste their time on the street yelling at people to increase your numbers, not doing any good for anybody. What do you do good? Objectively speaking, I don't mean growing your organization. What do you do good? In what way do you love your neighbor as yourself? Teaching them to hate people and teaching them a false identity is not doing good. This is pure slander. I know the real about Epiphany. They do the stuff on the day-to-day. What do you do, Sakari, on the day-to-day? Sell clothes, sell some shirts, sell some fitted, sell some hats. Come on, man. It's slander. That's why I'm reacting harshly to it, because we don't like the lies and we're tired of it. And that's why I started off with all those verses about lies.
It's your establishment. Yeah. You don't care.
It's just real quick before you get that. It reminded me. Remember last time, Ariella, we asked them a question. the man who they call God said that, like you said earlier, that none of the laws are done away with. And if you teach men, so if you break the least of the commandments and you teach men to do it, that you're going to be called least in the kingdom of God.
Did anyone catch that in the beginning of Hassad's spiel there? The man that you call God. So again, if you wonder why we're against this thing, it's not because we're prejudiced. It's not because we're afraid. It's because you guys open up the Bible, say you're teaching what's in there, and you're getting it all wrong. And you're following this from years prior, and then you're bringing other people into it. It's because you're heretics, man. That's why. You deny the master. Now watch. I skipped through some of this. This is not the whole video. I'm skipping to the point, I think, where Gorilla's about to call me.
But they're not actually Christians because they don't actually follow what Paul says.
We're not actually Christians because we don't actually follow Paul's. First of all, we accept Paul's authority all the way through and through. And second of all, Christians get Paul a lot more right than any given Hebrew Israelite. So, you can say that, but we just don't take your exegesis seriously. I mean, Hassad, I just saw a clip of you. Now, this is not Paul, but this is in one of the Gospels, where you said, where it says that was the son of Joseph, as was supposed, that's in parentheses, so it wasn't there in the original Greek. Parentheses in English construction in the translation to show it's a parenthetical statement, not to show it's not there in the original Greek. That would be italics. That's when you see supplied information. It's when it's applied. Or you would have to find a textual variant. There is no textual variant that doesn't have the line that says, as was supposed. What are you talking about? You don't know how to teach the Bible. You don't know how to read the Bible.
Or sorry, what Christ says. They're actually Paulites, and they're not even Paulites because they don't even do what Paul said to do.
We're actually Paulites, we don't do what Paul says. There's so many things about this. Look, Christianity is a movement centered on Christ, but Christ said he's going to send the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is going to teach, and there's going to be a recollection of what was said, and those same men recognize Paul's authority, and Paul had a personal encounter with Jesus. Hassad, what have you had? Personal encounter with a YouTube video? Paul's a real Hebrew. He's a Benjamite who could trace his lineage, not somebody who looks up on the screen at a chart and says, "Oh, I must be Simeon because I'm a Dominican." Paul actually was a real Benjamite who, yes, was confronted by Jesus and confirmed by the apostles. Who are you? And we don't follow Paul. We're not Paulites. We follow Christ as, and you could say this because Paul said it, it's okay. We follow Paul as he follows Christ, meaning what are we really doing? We're following Christ. Do we follow your interpretation of Paul, whom a lot of times you discount his authority? No, we don't follow that. But why should we trust you as a Bible teacher? We should not.
Paul kept the law too, though.
Some of the speakers.
Paul kept the law too, though? Then why does he say circumcision availeth nothing? Now, if you mean Paul would do certain things because of the weak consciousness of certain people to push the mission forward, certainly. That's why Timothy was circumcised. But who wasn't circumcised? Titus wasn't circumcised. Explain that. Paul kept the real meaning of the law, meaning through Christ, we imitate Christ. That's ultimately the way you do it. So if Paul kept the law, then why do you guys go against him? Why do you guys say he was wrong over here and wrong over there when he said stuff about circumcision availeth nothing? Why?
In this church, all right?
So this guy used to be a member. This guy used to be at Epiphany. So he's pointing to Epiphany. This guy is one of the worst members of Sakari. I've seen some of his videos. He's the most deceptive, dishonest, and God, he's not the worst because there's Sakari there and the sergeant guy. But, it's quite a competition about who's more dishonest, but he's right there. It's someone whose morals and values are completely erased, And listen to what he says here.
Are women. And Paul says the women should be silent in the church.
In this church are women. Yeah. But unless something has happened that I'm not aware of, Epiphany has male leadership, male elders. So women are allowed to be there. What do you mean? So in this church are women. So Maybe he's saying he doesn't think they should be speakers. Maybe that's what he's saying. But again, are we going to take advice about roles of men and women from Sakari? Not I, says Vocab.
What do we do with that? Well, that's why we say what? Nobody follows Paul. People get mad when we say Paul is not authoritative, but
people get mad when we say Paul's not authoritative. At least you hear him say it. But notice, when a Christian doesn't know what Sakari believes, guess what Sakari will do? Well, let's open up to this book written by Paul. They'll use them when it's convenient for their needs, for Christians who don't know. And now he's going to say, well, you guys say, we say he's not authoritative, but you guys don't follow what he says.
None of y'all follow Paul. Because I could go to examples all of his epistles that are not in application, that are being totally disregarded by every group of people that alleges to say he has the authority of Christ.
Every group of people? Well, I guess will that include Hebrew Israelites? I mean, what are these examples? I'd like to hear these.
His epistles are the Holy Ghost pen. Well, why are we skipping over that?
Wouldn't Christ's words be a Holy Ghost pen?
Yeah.
He was filled with the Holy Spirit without measure. But you guys disregard everything that he's ever said.
We disregard what Jesus said. This is such a dumb conversation. Like, they're not representing Christian belief. They're not representing Christian practice. They're just having this conversation on camera because they're upset because nobody from Epiphany will come talk to them. It's such a low-level, dishonest conversation, though. If I get together with 2 or 3 other apologists who understand One West Hebrew Israelism, it's going to be a highly nuanced, precise, intelligent conversation. We may make a joke here or there. We may say, I'm kidding about this or that. But when we're talking serious, you'll find we get down to the nuts and bolts of what Sakari teaches and believes. And if we're wrong about something or they change it, we'll backtrack and fix it up and say, hey, we were wrong. I misunderstood that belief every time. We don't persist in our error of understanding because we're constantly growing in our knowledge and you guys are constantly changing your doctrine. We don't have these, when we get together, we don't have these kind of low-level conversations. We're actually saying, what are they saying about this? We'll say he interpreted it this way. Now they interpret it this other way. Okay, so there's a change. These are the kinds of things. We get together with people who understand this and know this about what you guys believe. It's not a low-level conversation. You guys need to improve. You need to do better than this.
And you run to Paul. It's insane.
Yeah. And you run to Paul. Paul's authoritative letters that are in here are authoritative. They're part of the canon. We can go to them. We can run to Isaiah. We can run to Genesis. And by the way, all those places that we run to, we're going to outrun you because you're handicapped when you read the scripture. We can go to Psalms. We can go to Proverbs. We can go to Revelation. It's fine. And we can go to Paul too. That's fine.
Because what if Christ said that you're going to be hated of all nations and all people for my name's sake? They're going to try to cast you out of the synagogues and do all manner of evil. When did they start doing that to the Christians?
What's that? Can you say that again? I'm going to rewind that a little bit. So, poor Hassad says, Jesus said you're going to be cast out of the synagogue. He's talking about it in the Gospel of John. Jesus did say that. When did that ever happen to Christians? Poor Hassad simply doesn't know anything about the first century or what's in the Talmud, apparently. I'm going to play that one more time because I'm going to show where that happened to Christians.
Why are we skipping over that?
Wouldn't Christ's words be a Holy Ghost pen?
Yeah.
He was filled with the Holy Spirit without measure. But you guys disregard everything that he's ever said and you run to Paul. It's insane.
Yeah, because what if Christ said that you're going to be hated of all nations and all...
I'm pretty sure the cameraman is chewing gum while he's on the camera. And you can't hear it, but when you have headphones on, you can hear it. And it's pretty annoying. But here we go.
For my name's sake, they're going to try to cast you out of the synagogues and do all manner of evil. When did they start doing that to the Christians?
Good question, Hassad. Can I show you when they started doing that to the Christians? All right, here we go. I'm gonna go to an article here. And I want to show you this article. I'm gonna go to a couple of different ones here. This is something that should be known. All right. And so this is going to be hard to see at first, but just give me a second. We're just taking a little time here to show that, yes, indeed, Christians were kicked out of the synagogues. So I don't understand why is he saying that? And he's not even right. All right, here we go. All right, here, this is one article I'm going to look at here. This is from the Tyndall Bulletin. Fourth Gospel and the Exclusion of Christians from the Synagogues, Kenneth L. Carroll. This is a journal article here. And he talks about this, where they're kicked out, all right? Bada boom, bada bing, excluded from the sacred assemblies, all right? And then critics have often alleged that what this means is the Gospel of John was written late because it shows when this kind of thing was happening was later on. That's what some critics have said. But I want to show you something first that's important. Right here, this term minim. See this term minim? This is what you see Jewish Christians called in the early days from Jewish leaders. They would call them the minim, basically an enemy within their midst. And so Judaism, as the article talks about, fought the minim, who were, quote, kind of like inside their gates, as it were. And these minim were seen as a problem. Now, this article has a whole thing. We're not going to be able to get into all of this, but I'm going to show you some things from the Talmud itself, okay? So here's these references you get about the minim. These are Jewish Christians who were going to be having trouble, all right? I'm going to show you some specific things here. Just give me a second. So here's some background about them there. Some background about them there. You guys could look this up. I'm not going to be able to go to this whole article, but I'm going to go to another one now, expulsion from the synagogue. And this gets into it a little bit. This, you can find this on the website, umass.edu. You can find it there. Okay, let me show you this here. Expulsion from synagogues, Babylonian Talmud, Barakat 28b, 29a. Then here's the commentary about it first, all right? Bada boom, bada bing, right there. Bada boom, bada bing. Now look, here we go. Rabban Gamaliel said to the sages, "Is there no one who knows how to compose a benediction against the minim?" Samuel the Less stood up and composed it. So this is in the Babylonian Talmud. This is in regard to daily prayers being added, essentially. And in this situation, it's like, okay, who's going to compose something against the minim? For the apostates, let there be no hope, and let the arrogant government be speedily uprooted in our days. Let the Nazrim and the minim be destroyed in a moment, and let them be blotted out of the book of life, and not be inscribed together with the righteous. Blessed art thou, O Lord, who humbles the arrogant. So yeah, this happened. And the footnote explains what this is. This is a cover term for heretics. The word Christians never occurs in the Mishnah. The Jews have a thing where they don't like to mention their enemies' names directly, so they always have these nicknames for it. And this part up here is usually interpreted as Nazarenes, Nazrim. So it's another way to describe the sect, as it were. Check this out a little bit more. There's one other thing I'm going to show you. Where to go? Well, they just basically the rest of this little part of the article talks about what that meant. This is a little 2-page thing. Expulsion from the synagogues at umass.edu. Now, there's more I could say, but here's my point. Christians were kicked out of the synagogues. In fact, even in the gospel itself, you can see this. Remember the man who was healed and they brought his parents in? And it says when they were questioning the parents, like, he was born blind, your son? He was like, they were like, don't, hey, ask him. Ask him because he's of age. And then the commentary there says, in the gospel, it says, well, that's because they didn't want to get kicked out of synagogue. And they knew that the Jews were kicking out people. But there's another example there. Now, let's go here and go back to the video. I just wanted to correct him on that point. This did happen.
The institution is being rendered obsolete. That's why more and more people are walking out and not ever coming back. It's because you don't care about what
real quick about that. It's true, people. It's true that the church is certainly losing numbers in America. No doubt about that. There's always ebbs and flows of this thing. No doubt about that. But let me say something. It's true that all religion is decreasing in America. Now, when I talk about Hebrew Israelism growing, that's true in and of itself, and that's not forever. It's not going to grow forever. It's because it's not a movement of God. It has a limited shelf life. But right now it's going to grow. I predict at least 20 to 40 more years worth of growth for the thing. While it is growing, it's interesting to see you have a decrease there of what are called, or an increase, of what are called the nuns, the non-religious affiliated, and essentially every religion. And unfortunately for the Hebrew Israelites, they may not realize, but their hopes and dreams are directly tied up in the Christian church. Because who do most people get part of this? Who do they come from? They come from the church. And the reason is because they're people who, on one hand, know something about the Bible, right? They have a little bit of respect about the Bible, and so you can reel them in that way, but they're poorly churched. They usually don't know the Bible. And that's why in almost every testimony you see where a Hebrew Israelite's talking, they say, well, I didn't know the Bible. I didn't know the Bible. No doubt about that. Let's continue.
Please understand that we are literally the target demographic of this conference. The Urban Apologetic Conference is specifically geared towards youth, towards young Black and Hispanic youth who could be led away because of cults like the Hebrew Israelites. Wouldn't it behoove you, in order to dismantle the Hebrew Israelites and to not get young Black and Hispanic men into that cult, to embarrass us in front of everybody? Then nobody will want to join us, Tony.
Embarrass us in front of everybody, then nobody will join us, dummy. Oh, Hassad, you know what you show here? You show that in 5 years, you have not matured a lick. What do I mean? You were literally saying the same thing last time. Let me show everyone what I'm talking about. Check this screenshot out. Live reaction, no swag Malone. All right. Look at this. See this comment? Who is Dre Harley? Well, I'll just tell you that was the person who was just talking. Hey, Vocab, is it true that those Sakari guys are going to be outside of the conference you and Dr. Mason are going to be holding in Philadelphia this week? I think it will be a great opportunity for you guys to crush them once and for all. Dre Harley, back in, 2019, I think. I think this is back in this might have been 2017. I'm not sure which conference this is at off the top based upon this. But this is 2017 or 2019. This is the comment that he leaves. I want to show you my response even back then. And I didn't know this was him at the time. I didn't know that Hassad was Dre Harley back then. But look at what I say. I know you're a Hebrew Israelite because real Christians don't think or talk this way. You gave yourself away by trying too hard. Why not be honest and direct? Why lie? Why be deceitful? Is attempted deception a trait of Christ? He totally got cut there. First of all, he got called out. First of all, he got realized. And he got totally chastised in a biblical manner. I know you're Hebrew Israelite because you don't talk or sound like a Christian. So he's trying to appeal to us using his worldly way of thinking. We don't think that way. We're going to embarrass the Hebrew Israelites once and for all and no one will join them. We don't even think that way, sir. That's not how we operate. Regardless of me being direct and firm, we love you. We're concerned about you. That is very, very true. However, we have to prioritize according to Scripture. And here's what I mean by that. Our first goal, though, is to protect the gospel. And that includes the people whose lives have been transformed and are being transformed by the gospel. So our goal is to defend the truth, and that means defend the godly, the true church. So that's why we've got to usher a defense and come against your false doctrine. But it's not because we're trying to destroy you and we want to embarrass you in front of everyone. Do you realize if we wanted to embarrass you, there would be so many different tactics we would take and different ways we would approach it? There are so many times where I have Hebrews like pinned against the wall, and some Christians don't like this. I basically let them off easy. Not always, but usually. Because my goal is not to embarrass them. I love them and I care about them. So the second you said this, I knew. And this is just embarrassing. Hey, vocab, is it true that those Sakari, you're clearly trying to deceive here. You put it in quotation marks. Going to be outside of course you knew they were going to be because you're in the organization. Why be a liar, Dre Harley? Why not just be direct? Be honest, be truthful. We don't play these kinds of games. What this shows is, to you, this whole thing is a game. It's a game because you don't operate this way if you're taking it serious. And it also shows you don't keep the law. You talk about keeping the law, you're not a truthful, honest person. Have you changed? It doesn't look like it because you're literally saying the same thing here. It'll be a great opportunity for you guys to crush them once and for all. That's like how a villain talks, crush them once and for all. We're not the emperor. We don't think this way. This is so silly. And this is a poor attempt at psychologizing, trying to psychologically maneuver us. Oh, this will be. But really, you're just trying to get video fodder. And we know all this. We know all this, man. But here's my point by bringing this up. After all these years, Dre Harley is literally still doing the same thing. And in case you're wondering, well, how do you know it's really him? This is really him. He's not from Compton, California. He's from Eugene, Oregon. He's not a shooting guard at Los Angeles Lakers, but I know little kids, they like to put that kind of stuff as like a joke on there. But bro, just come on, man. Be honest, be direct. Be forthright, be truthful. And listen to him talk right now. This would be a great opportunity for you guys to come out and destroy us. He was trying to pull that with me on the phone. Here's the thing. If you thought it was a great idea for us to come destroy you, then why wouldn't you want us just to stay inside? It's such an obvious bait. These guys.
Prove us wrong, please. I would love for someone to prove me wrong. Every day I have a Christian saying, oh, you guys are wrong, you're this, you're that, and there. And when I offer, I give the invitation to have the conversation, right, where I'm giving you an opportunity to prove me wrong, right? None of them ever take the opportunity.
What are you talking about? I've seen you do plenty of debates. These guys are just liars, man. Just stop lying, Sakari. Just stop being liars. Just tell the truth. Stop it. You don't keep the law. It's so infuriating that you guys sit around saying Christians don't keep the law and you just lie nonstop. The Bible says thou shalt not lie. I read a bunch of verses in the beginning, but you're just liars because you don't care about the truth. Just stop it.
Yes, sir.
I would think that's
Look, sure. You're exactly right. We're one of the groups that they're talking about de-escalating from, but they, instead of actually coming and engaging in
stating your point of view and learn how to.
How can you learn? I'm not protesting.
So they called the cops. Epiphany called the cops on them because they said they're blocking the sidewalk. I don't know. I wasn't there. But I don't feel too bad for Sakari because I've had IUIC, I understand it's a different group, call the cops on me 3 times. So IUIC will call the cops on other groups. So, you know, Hebrews like to call cops on Christians. IUIC, and I'm not the only one. They've, from what I understand, IUIC's called cops on other Christians. So, you know, they'll do it. They're okay with that.
How can you learn to engage and de-escalate with me if you won't even come and talk to me? No one is hurting anybody. No one is being hostile. No one is hanging anybody.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Were you denied access or
No, they charge you $250 a ticket.
you have a group, right?
Yeah, that's
Well,
group prices.
have the group chip in and send representatives.
No,
I don't understand.
He's saying, why don't you pay to go to the conference? It's so funny. The cop is saying, why don't you just pay to go to the conference? Let me tell you something about Sakari paying to go to conferences, okay? When the leader of the Phoenix chapter of Sakari showed up to Reborn Church when we were doing Doctrine for the Block, he told the ladies at the door that he registered for the conference and paid for it, and there must have been some kind of error on our part. He didn't pay for the conference. We know for a fact he did not pay. There was no error in the system. He said that to try to get into the conference without paying. I think the conference cost $15, and we even supplied food for the conference. $15 conference. But yet, the leader of Sakari Phoenix could not help himself, but he had to lie and say that they must have messed up his registration to try to get in. He was the only person who said that day. And it was clear it was a pretense. We double, triple checked. It wasn't the case. Why is Sakari such liars? Young man, in Sakari, why did you show up and lie? And you can't say, oh, because it's okay because they're Edomites. The people at the door were all part of Issachar, as you would have understood it. The church is basically an Issachar church, if you would. So you're lying to fellow Hebrew Israelites by your misunderstanding. So I understand if you say you're allowed to lie to other nations, but this wasn't another nation. What was your reason for that? And tell me I'm wrong. Tell me you didn't do that. Tell me it's not true. I'm just so tired of the deception from these guys.
The issue is, they want to talk about us, but they don't want to talk to us. We simply are here to have a conversation.
Okay, Alazar, I hear what you're saying, but it's hypocritical. You have made... nothing has changed as of now. Now, I've tried to work on something to where it changes, to where I go to one of your camps and they're allowed to talk to me. But you have made a rule that none of them are allowed to talk to me as of last time I went there. Literally cutting off in the middle of a sentence. During that time when that was happening, where no camp was allowed to talk to me, and as of now, unless it changes, it's still the same. You made videos about me. Hassad made videos about me. Sergeant made videos about me, and that's not the only ones. Plenty of people in Sakari, you yourself would talk about me at various points, but you wouldn't talk to me. Totally hypocritical. Well, if they're going to talk about us, shouldn't they have to talk to us? But you did the same thing with me. The level of hypocrisy when this whole interaction. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Show me what I'm saying is incorrect or I'm lying about it.
In the meantime, we're going to have a conversation amongst ourselves. That's all. It's ridiculous to me. This is a conference building full of grown men of color who can't come and engage other grown men of color who simply all believe in the Holy Bible. That's all we're doing, right? Again, we're not helping anybody. We haven't threatened anybody. We haven't said, hey, we're about to try to rush the door. We're just here. We want our presence to be known that we are here and we are free and able to talk. If they're willing to talk, if not, we're going to have the conversation amongst ourselves for a couple hours, and then we're going to go about our day.
All right, I'm going to begin.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, sir.
Obviously,
1,000.
another thing I think we're out here in front of
Yes, sir. I mean, they're in a church. They got weapons.
security for
Yeah, at a church.
you are not security.
But I need security.
You understand?
Hold on. Listen, don't look at us.
I'm just answering the question.
Okay, so doing what I do, evangelizing in the streets, there's been attempts made on my life personally, right? I've had somebody empty a clip on me in the street for teaching the Bible. Simple, right?
I'm not saying it didn't.
No, I know, no, say it.
We're not for that kind of violence. But, as you can see by that live stream that you guys premiered on your channel, there's plenty of people on your side who want violence against me just because I'm talking about the Bible. Well, here's what I ask you. The same kind of reasoning you're employing with the police, offer it to us too. Meaning, we just want to have a conversation about the Bible. We're two people who say we believe the Bible. In our case, all of it. In your case, some of it. But we want to have a conversation about the Bible. So let's just have the conversation about the Bible. We don't need to threaten each other. We don't need to say we can't talk to you. Keep that same energy with the Christian apologists, with me.
No, that's what I'm saying. So after that, you know, we understand that we're going to utilize our Second Amendment to defend and protect ourselves if any threat like that ever comes out.
He's justifying, you know, the guns at camp thing. And the knives and the body armor and all that stuff. Okay. But don't deny that you guys egg people on. When I'm out in the street, you know, there's certain things that I don't do because I know it's not wise. You guys be egging people on and then wonder why they get upset. I'm just saying.
We're just here to talk about that. We're not here. We're definitely here to hurt.
Okay, you realize that when you show up to security wise or not, that presents some way. It's perceived.
That's. I'm with you. I'm with you 1,000%.
Now, I'm not saying anything has anything to do with it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's how to perceive.
Definitely.
So, if you want to perceive, if you want to be perceived in a defensive way, I would suggest that it's right?
Definitely so.
That's to me.
I'm with you.
All right, so I'm going to make my phone call.
Yes, sir.
I'll be back to talk with you. I just need you guys to stay at least where you're at right now.
Okay.
All right? I did ask for a little bit further, but, you know, I'm willing to bend.
Did you give us this? I appreciate it.
I can do that. I can do that. I will be back in a minute. I just have to pull it.
Okay.
Let's talk to you. Do you guys have any other questions that maybe I can answer
No,
before I talk to him? Because I kind of get the feeling that they're going to end up coming after anyway.
Okay.
And speaking.
Yes, sir.
My understanding is that day that nobody except for one person came and spoke to them with any you know, at any meaningful length, and that everyone was instructed not to talk to them. And that's their prerogative. And I think in this current situation was the right move to make. And, you know, we're blessed here with this situation because, honestly, you probably got the most chill cop I've ever heard or seen. You know, he's got his hands in his jacket. He's like, well, you know. So I'm glad because we all know how they could be. So that's a good thing. All right. But, you know, being chill in this one particular interaction at this current time doesn't erase Sakari's whole MO.
What exactly is your group?
We'll call it Sakari.
Sakari?
Yes, sir, Sakari.
We are named after Jewish assassins in the 1st century who would sneak into crowds filled with Roman soldiers, you know, the enforcers of the law at that time, and would kill them by stabbing them and then blend into the crowd during large public events. That's what we were named after.
And what is the belief?
We're Hebrew Israelite.
Our belief is you're going to be a slave in the future, and that we can have multiple wives, and that we can lie to people who are of the different nation than us. Those are some of our beliefs. Any questions about our beliefs?
Okay. Okay. All right. Let me give them a call.
Okay, so I appreciate you.
All right. That's a good one. Oh, I'm not going anywhere yet. You guys are probably going to see a bunch of us for a while.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, go ahead.
He said that this has nothing to do with Hebrew Israelites. Yes, it does. This is today's Friday Out Breakout section. When it says, what is going on with black religious identity cults? They've already identified us as that.
It's true that Hebrew Israelism is one of the ideologies identified under the apologetics acronym that my understanding is Ian McGregor came up with. Shout out to him. Black religious identity cults, sometimes it's abbreviated as BRICS. But first of all, it's not the only one. And it's not the only one. And I don't know, you could say they were definitely talking about Sakari. And even if they are, they're under no obligation to have to come and talk to you so you can get video footage. I guarantee you, if one of the leaders said, yeah, we can talk to you, except just come inside and we're not going to record it, I guarantee you would have no interest in it. Why? Because if it's not seen by man, Sakari don't give a damn.
On several junctions.
So he says what a man of God is, but he came out and lied.
Whole face lie.
He just lied right now because he said he's seen all the presentations and all, which that's probably counts. So he lied about something. I'm telling you that the man just lied about something. But he has, hold on, but he told you there's not a kingdom.
Yeah, I said, what's the kingdom?
The nigga just lied. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, what's crazy is like, there's no way that you saw all the presentations, because guess what? People are traveling from out of town, so there's no way you saw all the presentations.
People are just getting to tell. First off, somebody who just saw him in the airport. He came yesterday. All right, they saw Hassad in the airport yesterday. So
they saw Hassad in the airport yesterday. Do you guys hear that? I'm just going to rewind that a little bit. See, we're at 740.
Presentation,
this is relevant.
which that's probably counts. So he lied about something. I'm telling you that the man just lied about something. But he has, hold on, but he told you there's not a kingdom.
Yeah, I said, what's
Amadeus, so we do things different around here. That's the same kind of slander that they give to us. We don't make assumptions about what they do or don't do. We just stick with the facts. So if you know something, you can speak on it from a quote. But if you're just saying based upon stereotypes, they do this, we're not with that. So Amadeus, please approach this a different way. That's just guessing. We just don't do that here. We're talking about facts of what they have said and done.
The nigga just lied. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, what's crazy is like, there's no
So Alazar just criticized someone for lying about the nature of the conference. He said he just lied. Now watch this, though.
way that you saw all the presentations, because guess what? People are traveling from out of town, so there's no way you saw all the presentations.
People are just getting to tell. First off, somebody who just saw him in the airport. He came yesterday.
Somebody just saw him in the airport. He came yesterday. They're just criticizing for someone for lying, right? Alazar lied to me. He lied. The person who saw Dre Harley in the airport said, yo, I think I see Dre Harley in the airport. I'm giving the short version. I said, hey, somebody says they saw Hassad in the airport. See him in the airport? And at first, I thought it was the Atlanta airport. Then I corrected myself. It's a Philadelphia airport. Because of that, me first saying Atlanta, not Philadelphia, and then following up saying, oh, my bad, Philadelphia. When I asked Alazar about this, he tried to use it as a pretense to say, no, they must have been mistaken. But what he said is, when I asked him about it, he was only referring to the Philadelphia, or so the Atlanta airport question, not the Philadelphia airport question. Now, he knew exactly what I meant. I've never lied to Alazar or purposely deceived him or anything like that. Never. And I just asked a basic question, and he deceived. I literally wrote back the person and said, no, it must have not been him because he told me he wasn't. I actually took his word for it. Now, Amadeus, I'm going to follow you up on that. Please block Amadeus from the chat. What disturbs me is not you roasting these clowns. What disturbs me is basically essentially a racist trope that you're dropping on top of them without any real knowledge about it. That's what disturbs me. So we are going to block you. When people say block me, well, okay, I'll block you. I'm out here doing the work, trying to get things right. And unlike Sakari, who does not regulate their live chat at all, people can say that I should drop dead with cancer. I do regulate it. So you're not an ally for us when you drop racist tropes to people. You're not an ally. You're not on the side of the gospel. We don't talk that way. That's not how we act. We can be direct and honest, but not with this. If you guys want to, read his comment. So yeah, you're blocked. Thanks. Do better. You should have just accepted my correction, to be honest, and said, okay, my bad. I'm just making assumptions. That's what you should have said. It doesn't help anybody for you to be a racist jerk. That goes for you too, Sakari. So I took his word. And said no. He said no, so it must not have been him. And then the next text I got was, they lied to you. So he knew exactly what I meant. And when he calls me on the phone, I say, look, I'm not going to act like I'm not mad about that. He's like, well, if you look, actually, I was answering the different, but he knew exactly. Basically, it's like trying to say I didn't lie on a technicality. Okay. It is what it is. I said, look, man, I'm just a straight shooter. Let's just be straight shooters. That's too much to ask, I guess.
All right, they saw us outside the airport yesterday, so they should already knew what time it was. Really.
Right. And what's crazy? What time is it?
It tells us a lot, right?
I think this part where I get a phone call.
Let's call Cam live. We live. Listen.
So I'm at work when they call. I didn't know I was being recorded, which I'm okay with. Although to me, it's full disclosure. You tell someone, hey, you know, I'm recording this, whatever, this is live. To me, that's the way you should approach it. Just a bad protocol. It's not the end of the world because I'm not worried because I didn't say anything that I was just being direct like I would in public. So that's fine. But they call me, I'm at work, I pick up the call, have a very sincere, earnest conversation. On my part, I try to be direct and honest. And I'm going to try to tell you what's being said on the phone because you can't really hear me that well.
I didn't think it happened. Y'all see Twitter out here? Got both cameras.
The reason it's ringing is because I'm working. And I really hope the cameraman stops chewing.
Yo, okay. Yeah, yes, sir, man. What's up, man? Where you at? We all outside Epiphany, man. Where you at? Oh, man, I thought you was coming. I just knew they told me you was coming.
So they thought I was going to be there, not there this year. Maybe they got it confused and thought the Urban Apologetics Conference I was doing with Kevin, Chaplain Kevin, the virtual one, last weekend or whenever, maybe that's what they got confused with. But I was never scheduled to be at Epiphany this year. So they're calling me saying, hey, come on out, you know.
Oh, okay. I just knew you were gonna be here. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we're outside Epiphany. They didn't call Philly PD on it, so you know. But we're out here.
So by this time, I had already been informed that he lied to me. So I knew that they were, that they were there. But I didn't understand they were right outside. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I didn't understand exactly the nature of it. And I definitely didn't know that I was live being recorded.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, I went to Sergeant's captain's pulling up. It's a whole thing.
So I was a little surprised. He said, hey, they called the police. I was somewhat surprised by that. I was like, oh, okay, let's go. That's what happened, so that's what I'm registering.
Yeah. Well, that's because Epiphany called the cop. I know you would.
So I said, if I was there, I would talk to you.
No.
So there's where I say, but you said he wasn't at the airport. So he says, no. Now he's going to explain. So I just said, why didn't you tell me the truth?
Pay attention to what I said. I didn't say he was in the airport. I said he lives in North Carolina. I just didn't answer the question. Yeah, no, because you said, I said, for record, just if you check it, when you said ATL, I said they must have been mistaken. Then you said Philly. I just didn't respond.
Now, that's what he's saying, but if you actually look at the message, and I'm not gonna show it. That's not, now maybe he had sent it, but as far as when it came through, yeah, see, it's where you could say, well, technically, but this is like what liars do. It's like I saw him at the airport. So since I said the wrong name of the airport, it gave him an out.
I was here too. Whatever they spot is on.
If you hear, I've said I don't know. I just like being a straight shooter.
I just thought you was gonna be here, so I didn't want to blow it.
I just thought you was gonna be here, so I didn't want to blow it. So he's given the justification for why he deceived. Yeah, okay. There's always an excuse, but I mean, I could have maybe helped.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, I would never. If I knew you were going to be there, like, let's say I was there.
Yes, sir. No, but here's the problem. I know you wouldn't run, but I'm not here to talk to you per se because we know you're always down to talk. But now there's other individuals that you know, for whatever reason they don't like engaging, and I know that we're definitely going to be a topic today, right? One of the things on the what's one of the breakout says, it says black identity cults, and there's a
black religious identity cults. The term the government used was black identity extremist. The term the apologists used black religious identity cults. Two different terms.
Identity cult outside, and you know, we haven't been aggressive. We're not even like holding conventional camp. We're just kind of chilling, and you know, they don't want to talk.
So I say, yeah, but you got to understand last time, and then I recount some of the insults that Alazar gave against Pastor Eric Mason in their commentary video when Hassad was trying to get someone to talk to at the last conference. Now, what I heard last time, I didn't see it, but I trust Epiphany, is that Hassad and them just tried to come up into the conference because it was at a hotel last time. They just tried to come on in. And security stopped them and was like, wait, what? And ironically, it was right when I was presenting, which they may have known because you could see the schedule. They may have seen, don't know about that part. And then, you know, they said, no, you didn't pay, go back, you know. So that's what they tried. They tried to bum rush. They literally came in and did all that. And then kept on calling Jerome Gay Crash Bandicoot, a video game character who runs really fast. And so what I'm saying is, why would they want to deal with that? You know, you got grown men who are pastoring churches, who are helping people in real life. Why would they waste their time and spend their time with that? That's what sometimes I tell Hebrews, like, you guys are kind of stuck with me. Feeling called to this and being willing to talk to these guys and put up with all the nonsense is not something most grown men are willing to do. And so what I'm trying to tell you is, you want different results? Come differently. It's so simple. It's not even bad advice. It's good advice. Want different results? Approach it differently. You want to talk to different people? You got to do it differently, man. So I say, I mentioned the insults that he gave last time to Mason.
Eric Mason was a bastard.
So Hassad thinks it's funny. I didn't get the insult exactly right. It said you called him a fat bastard. I'll play it in a second. Hassad, that's funny. This is what I'm saying. Like, you got to understand how much a lot of people have trouble taking your guys' calls for peaceful dialogue. How they don't take it very serious. You do not have a good reputation as being truth tellers. Sakari, honestly, you have a reputation as being the most dishonest, deceitful camp that exists. When we talk about GMS, what do we say? We say they're wild, they're out of control. We say that they have wild doctrines and beliefs. We might say something like that. Generally speaking, you won't see us describing GMS as deceitful liars, though. Why? Almost always, I'm not saying everybody, GMS has a relatively good reputation amongst apologists, at least. Not that they represent beliefs. They don't really study carefully enough to do that, but they at least try to be forthright about what they believe and honest about what they believe. They don't try to deceive and trick us, usually. That's just not how they operate, generally speaking. With Sakari, that's your whole MO, is built upon lies and deception. With IUIC, yeah, they spin things, they'll lie. They're actually one of the more violent camps. I know people were like, wait, what do you mean? IUIC is one of the only groups that's ever laid hands on me, and it's been multiple times. They'll also call the cops on me. They're much more entitled and much more aggressive in as far as the way they'll operate with us. But we understand positive things about them too. You know what I mean? Their thing is, we're just going to ignore the Christians, basically, you know, or we're going to troll them, do this or that. But every group, your guys' reputation's bad.
Yeah, but
See, Hassad thinks it's funny. See, that's what I'm saying. You guys are really immature. You're so immature.
My thing is, if you're in Christ, if you're a Christian, then why is it so hard to forgive?
Did you ask Eric Mason to forgive you, Alazar? He's running a conference. I know you run your organization. I don't think you've put together an event quite like what's going on there. He's running it. He's not there to try to talk to someone who just wants to make a video mocking him. This is so commonsensical, and I feel like you guys know it.
Yeah, see, but you can't use that
No, you don't have to.
So let's put a finger on that right there. And what I want to show you is what I'm talking about. Remember, I said, there's this is what we're at 11 minutes here. Can I show you the video where they let me show you. I kind of hate playing this video because it's so rude, the video I'm about to play. But I feel like you need to hear it, okay? I feel like you guys need to hear the video. You need to hear what he says. So this is only 33 seconds. This is Alazar's commentary about Mason last time when Hassad showed up to the conference.
And you're lucky I wasn't in Philly. Because if I was in Philly, I would have stood right in that goddamn hotel and said, one of y'all go get the fat man and bring his fat ass out here because my young boy want to talk to him. Bring the fat man. That's what I would have said. Bring that fat, four-eyed, bald-head, soft-ass nigga out here. Lying-ass nigga out here, man. I ain't here to play with you.
And you wonder why they don't want to talk to you. And you wonder why one little example where you don't have the microphone and AR-15s with you, and you feign niceness, you wonder why it doesn't erase everything. And they say, I'm not really interested in having a conversation with somebody who's going to make a video title with some insane title. And I gave an example when I was talking to him on the phone. I said, that's because they don't want to end up in a video where you say, young officer destroys fat pastor. Let me just play this one more time. This is from the other time, from the old Sakari WTR channel, I think. This is Alazar speaking. He's talking about last time. So if you look on the screen, this is Jerome Gay Jr.'s video he's playing. And he's talking about it. I think this is Eric Mason was commenting on it. And he's saying, you're lucky I was there because here's what I would have said. Listen to this. So Alazar saying, I would have said this about Mason when Hassad was trying to talk to you and you wouldn't.
And you're lucky I wasn't in Philly. Because if I was in Philly, I would have stood right in that goddamn hotel and said, one of y'all go get the fat man and bring his fat ass out here because my young boy want to talk to him. Bring the fat man. That's what I would have said. Bring that fat, four-eyed, bald-head, soft-ass nigga out here. Lying-ass nigga out here, man. I ain't here to play with you. And that's real.
Yep.
Right?
Okay. I'm glad I saved that clip.
Institution is being rendered obsolete. That's why
I'm glad I think that was an important, insightful clip.
You don't have to engage.
And that said, most grown men don't want to put up with those kind of insults.
Well, that's fine, but you can't talk about Hebrew Israelites and then never talk to Hebrew Israelites.
Well, first of all, and so here's what I say on the phone, basically, the short version. I say they do talk to Hebrew Israelites, but at their jobs, their coworkers, their friends, their family. That's different than while you're paying to be at a conference, having to come out with 15 guys who just want to make a video mocking you, whose past behavior does not demonstrate any kind of level of respect for anyone who disagrees with them, and it's just there to get clicks and views.
Well, you can. I mean, if you ask myself, you can. I mean, my philosophy is different.
Of course.
I'm still required. That's not the thing to get. Listen, you guys look
Of course they don't have to, right? But it just, again, it doesn't make sense. Nobody has to talk to us. That's totally fine, right? But it speaks volumes when none of these men will come out and talk to us. But you will. That speaks even more volumes.
So later on, when I talked to Hassad about this, they try to pull the same thing, that I'll talk to him and other people won't. And he says, you as a Caucasian man, and I was like, hold on, Hassad. Don't pull that. Do you want me to start calling you a half Caucasian man? I'm not referring to you that way. Well, aren't you a Caucasian man? Well, the term Caucasian is a problematic term. It's stupid. It has to do with Caucasus Mountains. It has to do with a certain area of people, basically where modern day Armenia is. And it's a dumb term anyway. So no, I don't identify that way, first of all. But I'm not referring. Well, you as a Caucasian man will come and talk to us, but they won't, and they're African American. It's just, I'm like, bro, Hassad. And the weird thing was, this is off camera, because after I talked to Gorilla, Hassad goes to the back and we have a conversation, and yet he's acting that way. It's like, Hassad, you and I have talked sitting down, and then we've also talked camera to camera. Why this pretense in speaking this way? You got to learn how to talk to people who are not on your side, just as in a normal way, for your ends. You know what I mean? If that's all your motivation is for your goals, at least keep that in consideration. It's just so silly and see-through. Work on it, man.
I'm great. Jesus King.
But I'm saying, what am I doing? We're not out here. We haven't berated anybody. We haven't heckled.
Notice it's funny. They have to say all the stuff they haven't done this time, because all that stuff they do all the other times. This time we haven't. It's like an abusive husband, and the wife is like, saying whatever, she's flinching. I haven't punched you this time. In this conversation, I haven't even hit you once. Well, every other time we talk, you slap me around, so
Anybody? We haven't said anything disparaging about anybody.
That's not even true. And what I say is, yeah, but look at your track record. Look at your track record. Again, so if you want it to be different, then approach it different. Be different. And like I said, the longer you guys keep up with this, the more and more Christians don't want to talk to you. I'll tell you something. Christians hit me up all the time, frequently. Oh, Hassad challenged me to this debate. So-and-so from Sakari challenged me to this debate. Should I take it? You know what I tell all of them? No. They won't be honest with you. They're going to deceive you. They're going to trick you. And they're just trying to make you video fodder. I encourage people not to. Not because we're so afraid of what Sakari might say. Hey, nobody shut down. I just tell them that basically it's a waste of time. I say, but if you do, don't go on their platform and don't agree to their silly debate rules or titles they want to set up, and tell them if they violate anything, you just leave. And then you have to be willing to follow through. When they violate, you go. You don't warn, you just say, all right, that's it.
It's been 4 years. You're talking about something that happened damn near 4 years ago.
So when I'm talking about the insults, the video just played, he's like, well, that was 4 years ago. Well, have you changed since then? Did you apologize? Okay, yeah. So what's different now?
Look at bro in the window.
Check it out. If you called an event and said, hey, look.
What I say is, if you called in advance and told me you were coming, I may have been able to broker something. If you look at a lot of the major debates with Hebrew Israelites, with Christians, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I've been involved with a lot of them. I'm not going to say every single one, because I don't know everything that's happened. James White and Rakah. That was me, man. I'm just saying. Michael Brown and you. That was me. Whatever the next one is, I try to have some others, they fell through, whatever with some people. I could broker these things, but you make me less and less interested because of this.
Be there.
And I basically say, it's kind of too late now. What you did, how you doing it, It's too late, man. This is funny. So they point to the church and they show the church and they laugh at a guy in the window. I have a video with Sakari doing the same thing, but it's only with 3 of us, not a whole grip. It's me, David, and John McCrae. And it's the window is called IUIC Peekaboo or something. Nate, can you drop that link? Shout out to Warrior Woman, by the way. She has had a video and Sakari made about her. And that shows how foul they are. You know what a foul video they made about you. But you're strong, you are a Warrior Woman, so you're all right. There you go. So then I talk about, the way the video would be titled.
Listen, that's fine. Listen, that could be anybody's excuse, or anybody can feel that way.
So you're saying excuse, but it's a valid reason. And what is Sakari's excuse for not wanting to talk to me when I've come to camps? What's that excuse for that? Well, what's the excuse? What is that?
But again, you're talking about how to engage people that you just don't engage.
They do, not now in this context when you are telling them it has to happen in this way.
I mean, what does that say about you? Hold on, somebody's coming to ask a question. I'll get right back with you.
So he switches off here because someone's going to come into the camp to talk to them. So then he hands. I asked him, is there someone else I could talk to? He says, yeah, Hassad. So Hassad and I have a conversation.
What's up, buddy? Welcome back to Chief. Well,
it's off camera.
Oh, man. That's the leader.
What's your question?
What do you looking to accomplish? Like, I don't even go to the church. I don't go to church. What about?
This conversation is epic. This guy looks like an unassuming guy. I guess he's one of the AV guys that they hired to do the sound or something like that. So he's not a member of Epiphany. He's like, what are you guys trying to do? This conversation is so insightful. He totally sees through them. Listen to what this guy says. Don't take into fact like the way he says certain things or whatever. Like, listen to the content of what he's saying. He's actually very, very insightful. And he's kind of a funny dude. This guy, listen to what he says. He immediately gets it. Listen to this guy. I don't know who you are, but much love. Next time I'm in Philly, gyms or wherever you want to go on me.
Make me understand if I was a non-believer, I'm just here to work, right? Yes. Make me understand what you got looking in the comments to make me go this way or make me go this way.
I mean, what I'm saying? It's simple. Somebody's talking about us. We're here to talk.
Who's talking about us?
I mean, it's literally, you just told me that they're saying nothing about Israelites when literally on the breakout session on the list today is talking about Hebrew Israelites. Engaging black identity cults. That's what that's what they classify Hebrew Israelites as. So one of the topics of today's conversation is about us.
I don't go to church, bro, so make me
But did you lie?
Make me understand.
Did you lie?
I don't go to church.
Okay, that's irrelevant. I
don't believe. I believe in God, but I don't go to church.
Are you a man?
I'm a man.
Okay, did you just lie to another man?
Lie about what?
You just said they're not talking about Hebrew Israelites today. The docket, the list of topics today.
I don't know what they're talking about.
Okay, so then why'd you say you saw everybody's presentation talk about? You said you saw everybody's presentation.
On this joint, bro, look. Don't say anything about Israelites, bro. Just don't say nothing about Israelites, bro.
Come on, bro. I'm asking you a question.
I just want to understand. What do you want to
accomplish? You don't want to understand nothing because I'm talking and you talking. So you ask me a question, I respond to your question and you're talking. So you don't want to understand.
I want to understand,
no,
bro.
You don't.
I just want to know what y'all trying to accomplish. If a non-believer walks past that doesn't believe in Christ or don't believe in anything, and they see somebody outside aggressively ganged up as a gang, what do you want them to perceive you guys as? What do you want them to take you as, bro? That's all I'm asking.
Whatever they want to.
So if somebody wanted to perceive you as a criminal or a crook or somebody that's
I've been labeled a criminal and a crook all my life.
Me too, bro.
Okay, so what does it matter?
But it's not about what you do or how you do it. It's not about what you do, about how you do it.
Here's the thing is, right? Let me hit you with something. Let me hit you with something. I've been doing this a long time, right? I've been very successful. People have joined.
So what are you accomplishing?
I'm accomplishing a lot. I'm accomplishing the fact
that you saving souls.
That the
Are you saving souls?
Yeah, of course, 1,000%.
Are you saving? Are you saving souls right here?
1,000%. I am 1,000%.
Are you saving souls right here? You're not saving those souls, bro.
Right, that's how you feel, right? That's how you feel. And you ain't saving. You ain't doing nothing but wasting your time, wasting your breath right now.
I'm getting paid to talk to you, bro. I'm on the clock right now. What are you talking about?
That's fine, right? Okay, that's totally fine, right? But
talk shit, bro. That's what I'm doing.
Listen. That's fine, bro. That's fine, but it's ineffective.
But you doing this because you
thousands of people are watching me right now. Thousands. Thousands.
You doing it for Instagram?
Thousands.
This part of the conversation right here. Yeah, you're doing it for Instagram. He just said that to him. This man doesn't know who Sakari is. This man is not a Christian apologist. This man comes and immediately sees right through Sakari. That quick, that fast. He got it right immediately. Boom. You're doing it for clicks. You're doing it for views. And listen to... Alazar knows how hard I've tried to have everything be the right way and how I've been with him. But listen to the arrogance here. Thousands of people are watching me right now. Thousands of people are watching me right now. A common criticism with Sakari with my videos or any Christian apologist, they don't have the views we have. No Christian apologist, when they talk about Hebrew Israelites, has the views of any of the successful camps because our people are simply not as engaged in this issue. That's just how it is. But I don't know about Hassad because he probably doesn't see the bigger picture. I know, though, that Alazar is smarter than that, just only looking at view counts. Because he understands my primary thing is not to be a YouTuber. I'm a Christian apologist who's on YouTube. The interviews I do with other channels and other ministries that are much larger than anything I could ever hope to accomplish, those are significant. Now, I understand. Alazar may say, well, I was on no Jeopardy. Yeah. I'm not discounting all that. It's not about competition. I'm just saying, if it comes to like Hassad, people aren't really checking him for interviews or anything like that. The books have an impact. The articles have an impact. The debates have an impact in other places. The one-on-one conversations have, you know what I'm saying? There's more to just view count. But this man knew right away what it was all about. And Alazar points to the camera and says, thousands of people are watching me right now. That's validation for these guys.
Doing it for Instagram. That's like the person that's out here doing this.
5,000. And listen to what he says. Listen to this guy on the side.
Everything for the money. You're doing it for the views.
But you're doing it for the money right now. You're talking to me for money right now. That's what you just said, right? That's what you just said.
I'm my career.
That's what you just said, right? That's what you just said, right?
You just like the person that's gone out there preaching and taking everybody's money.
Isn't that what you're working for? That's who you're working for.
You're just like the prosperity preacher who's going out there taking people's money because you're doing it for the views. That's what you're doing it for. And that's exactly what they want to have a dramatic event with some Christian apologists who are well known and pastors and preachers, make them look bad for their base audience, get more notoriety to grow their camp. This man called it all on the fly, just like that. I don't even know if this man has a Holy Spirit, but he certainly got that right. My man, you called it.
That's who you're working for. You know what cost $250 to walk here today, right? That's what it costs. So that's who you're working for. So now that's hypocritical. That's hypocritical. That's hypocritical. That's hypocritical.
Y'all doing the same thing. If you say they doing it that way, you doing the same thing.
No, it's what you said. That's what you said. That's what you said, sir. That's what you said.
Y'all just doing confusion, corruption, and you're not.
And what do you do? And what do you do?
Audio, video.
And what do you do?
Confusion, corruption, not accomplishing anything. This man could write Sakari's bio.
What do you do? Okay, then go set up some AV stuff.
We're done saying
all right? Then go set up some AV stuff.
Coming to somebody's place and causing problems. We got all these police officers out here for no reason.
No, they call the police. They call 12, right? And you on the side of the people that call the police. So they tell me everything I need to know about you. That tell me everything I need to know about you. That tell me everything I need to know about you, brother.
What happened to the not yelling, not berating anybody? All it takes is one guy who disagrees, and all of a sudden, look what it turns into. One guy who comes and is critical of him, and look what it turns into. We're not berating anybody. That's because no one was out there. No one was talking to you. That's why the best strategy in that instance was exactly what they did.
You know what I'm saying? You with the cop calling. Like, tell me everything I need to know about you, bro. Everything.
Well,
What did the Bible tell you about following the laws?
Nothing. Nothing. Right.
What did the Bible tell you about following the laws of the land? The guy says, and Alazar says nothing.
You know the Bible. I don't know the Bible. Tell me that's my
Nothing. Hold on, what law of the land have I broken? Have I broken the law of the land? There's something called the First Amendment. That's an inalienable right. Right? So if I was breaking the law, they would have had me in a wagon already. See what I'm saying? But I'm not in a wagon. I'm out because I heard you broke the law. It's simple. All right, that's how you feel. That's how you feel. That's how you feel.
Those look like an ignorant group of black men.
Yeah, yes. You know why? You know why you feel like that? Because you're embedded with self-hatred, brother. That's all. You're embedded.
He's not ashamed, though, to be black, unlike Sakari, who wants to be a different ethnicity. So he's not self-hating himself. He's not claiming someone else's identity. That's y'all.
If it's niggas on the corner now, it's just we make black people in with Bibles talking about the Bible. What we have not done is intimidate anybody. We have not threatened anybody. We have not heckled anybody. Everybody who walked by here, we greeted and said good morning to. And we're reading the Bible. So how are we making black people look bad because we out here? You in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where niggas are killing each other and selling heroin and fentanyl on these goddamn streets, but we the ones making black people look bad. We got goddamn Bibles. Nigga, you out of your goddamn mind. All right? Stupid as hell, man. Hey, why?
And you wonder why they didn't want to have a conversation. The AV guy comes out, and look what it devolves into.
You quit talking to me, man. Anything you say, it has zero relevance. Nothing that you say matters. Nobody cares about your opinion, brother. All right? That's what. Listen, brother. Listen, I've been in Kensington. Last time I came to Philly, I went to Kensington. Now I'm out here.
He's basically saying, go somewhere else then. If you're helping those communities and you need it, just go somewhere else. But instead, you're there to troll a church.
Come on, viral. Let's be serious.
Movie.
Exactly.
So the whole time while this is happening, I'm talking to Hassad. If you look in the background, you see Hassad.
But see, no, but look at you. We're making black people look bad.
No, they're black people calling cops on black people. That's bad.
You know, and that's who's side doing. And that's who's side doing. Wow.
Sir, he will.
Matter of fact, get there. Where's the side at? Hassad, wrap it up. Tell me wrap it up.
Just when he gets up the phone with me.
Give me that. That's beautiful. That's powerful, man. Love what you're doing. Definitely, man. Come holler at us. Man, we'll be out here a couple more hours. Yeah, you want to pull up, man? Come holler at us, man. I'll look to talk to you. All right, bet. Beautiful. All praise. See, but look, you see his call? Anti-drug, anti-violence network. See that? See, but look, the actual people in the community, when they come up, they see
how you guys doing?
Right outside. We're not hiding in the building. That's right. They want to come and link what we do. Hey, you niggas doing anti-drug. Look, and mind you, we in the time of Nick and Lord. We in the time of Purim right now.
We're going to call the police on my brother because they mad at him. I've ever heard in my entire life.
You can't make that.
I've been 97 years old. White pastor ran the spirit.
Because so many of our
you
still look at me as a scumbag.
Ye men of Israel. And now I did the extremist.
So, you know, like, I used to be cool with he didn't win the command that whole thing. If you're in Christ now, me and Hassad just had a private conference. If
So
a brother
is true and interesting. I didn't bring
so hey, listen, I may have insulted you. You may have insulted me, whatever. Turn the other cheek. Is it that big of a deal? Now listen, if y'all come out here right now and we just do the Hebrew Israelite, we go wild, scream, crazy, insult, guess what? You know what you guys can really say? We tried. These guys, they can't help themselves. Here's the problem.
Well, we look bad in that.
We look
literally
horrible. Here's the problem.
what just happened. Someone tried, and these guys, they can't help themselves. It just was the AV guy.
Vocab alone, that's y'all calling. Listen, me and Hassad just had a private conference with him where he put a whole presentation together for him. And we listened to and engaged him totally respectfully and fine. That's why.
That's true. But I think the reason why is because it was private. I acted the same with them in private, in our private session we had that I do in public. And he knows that. He knows I acted the same. They act radically different in private versus in public. I'm not saying I'm perfect. Lord knows I'm not perfect. You can ask my kids. You can ask it. We all know. None of us are. We say that, but it's really true. We're sinners. But where's the integrity? The public and the private face are totally different things, and on purpose. Why? Can we put a stop to this ever? Will it ever change? I would like it to change. I'm doing this video not to throw gasoline on a fire, although I have had to be direct, but I'm trying to be as honest as I can be. Show me one thing, Hassad, Alazar, where I've lied tonight. Direct, yes, but you already knew it's how I felt. But it could change. But in the meantime, here we are.
Call this phone. We just got on the phone right now. Cool, right? Dr. Michael Brown, I debated him last year. Me and him is cool. Me and him and Deacon is cool. We actually correspond with each other about it.
And I know from behind the scenes that's true, by the way. But Dr. Michael Brown's got the rundown from me. He knows what's up. So Christians aren't fooled. We give and we give because we care. We know you're not the same. We know that's not your position or attitude. Why do we do it then? Because we believe the Lord can still break through. That's why.
Right? It's all good. So we've already demonstrated our ability to be respectful, to be reasonable, to be...
Yes, but you got to keep it, man. You got to have it still be that way. You can't just at one time, two time. Like, are you turning a corner at Sakari where that's the new direction of the camp? Because I haven't seen it. And it can't just be you privately. If you're really trying to make it different, it can't just be you privately that does that. It's going to have to be more organizational wide, and it's going to have to be in public too, where you learn how to be honest and direct. Why not give it a try? Alazar, ultimately, it's on you to change the tenor of your organization. If you don't be surprised that things are like how they are. And honestly, probably worse, because Christians don't all have the same level of patience that a good old vocab might. And I don't mean fighting. I'm just talking about their willingness to engage and stuff, you know?
Gentlemen, and even when we have a disagreement. So you can't actually play that hard, but if you would at least came and we did it, you would say, hey, look, and this is why we don't talk any further.
But instead they call the cops. And again, that goes against what Paul teaches. They're God, right? 1 Corinthians chapter 6.
That goes against what Paul teaches. Now, I couldn't tell if he said their guy or their God. But listen, Eric Mason should be blessed that this man left his church, to be honest, with this type of Bible interpretation. Now, I hope you get set straight, my friend. But listen to this.
Verse 1. Dare any of you having a matter against another go to law before the unjust and not before the saints? So you over here calling the cops on your brother instead of having a conversation with them. Paul would disagree with that.
That's to fellow believers in the same congregation. You are not in their congregation and you're not a believer. Saying you believe in the Bible, especially when you don't even believe a lot of what Paul wrote, you don't believe in Hebrews. That doesn't mean you believe in Jesus Christ. It doesn't mean you believe in the Messiah. It doesn't mean you believe in the Lord. It doesn't mean you believe in the gospel. Saying you believe in parts of the Bible doesn't count. Read 1 Corinthians 6. When one of you has a grievance against another, he's talking to the local congregation there. So this is believers in the same fellowship, my friend. That doesn't include you. Does he dare go to law before the unrighteous instead of the saints? You are the unrighteous. You're not part of the saints. Or do you not know that the saints will judge the world and that the world is to be judged by you? Are you incompetent to try trivial cases? Do you not know that we are to judge angels? How much more then matters pertaining to this life? So if you have such cases, why do you lay them before those who have no standing in the church? You have no standing in the church, guys. I say this to your shame. Can it be that there is no one among you wise enough to settle dispute between the brothers? But brother goes to law against brother, and therefore of the believers. This would apply in a range of things. So, for example, you guys, a lot of those videos you make against other camps where you just totally blast them, you call out their real names, you do all kinds of stuff like that to embarrass them against people that you fall out with, because I've seen you do it time and time again. You wouldn't do that if you believe this. Within your own little groups, within your own little organization, but you don't do that. The second someone wrongs you, you go all out. I'll just stop there with that part.
And you know, and again, part of the walk, that's what I want to do. I want to get the whole church definition, man, because you know.
Now, I should have told you guys that tonight's show might go a little long. I know it's late, but I'm going to keep on going. I still got my energy. I'm feeling good. Yeah, I got church tomorrow, but I'll make it a time. I'll be all right. I don't know about you. I know Warrior Woman's on the other side of the world, so maybe for her it's cool. But check this out. I'm about to get into Hassad, the one they call deacon, who does not qualify to be a deacon. We're going to get into Hassad's situation here, where he tries to comment on it. Because Lord knows Hassad's making his bread off this. So anytime something's go down, he's got to comment right away. He's got to jump in the mix there. So here's what he's going to do. He's going to comment. He has no knowledge of what really happened other than what people told him. And in a way, I was more involved because at least I was on the phone when it was going down. But we're going to talk about this in a second here. When we wrap up this part of the video.
But you call the cops on your own thing. Yeah, they're hypocrites.
How does the Bible guide us in understanding policing?
Hypocrites. Who's one line all the time?
To provide with a biblical theological framework to use force, police accountability, and police community relationship. Police right, wrong, police got, but so his whole mission is about policing. The one church is about how police are interacting with black people. Literally, that's okay, cool, okay, great. Yeah. So what you do instead of you engaging, you call them in the community. Wow. How y'all feeling, man? Good morning. Man. How you feeling? Good morning. Good morning.
Want to know how the Edomites are feeling?
Who are we rating today?
Yeah. Saying good morning, it's a kind thing. We're being kind.
We're being kind. Sakari, the camp known for kindness, because we said good morning. You know, I'm pretty sure at least someone in the camp has read Machiavelli. Specifically Alazar. He is super Machiavellian. And some of that has rubbed off. What does Machiavelli say? A number of things. One is, though, sometimes it's advantageous to seem beneficent and noble towards those who are you want to have their allegiance and loyalty to. Sometimes that's the best way to go. And then you do that for that purpose, that cause. But it doesn't mean you're really kind or nice or noble or friendly or give a dang about how their day is going. It means you're feigning it for an end, for a purpose, ultimately, which is power. It's not from the heart. It's not from the soul. It's not to imitate Christ. It's to get somewhere. Alazar is very Machiavellian. I don't even know if he would disagree with me. I feel like he might admit it. He might recognize that. That's not true morality. That's not true Christ-like nature. Because it's only towards an end.
You know, and to everyone.
To everyone. Everybody.
It don't matter.
Regardless of every background.
Then you said good morning to folks. They barely want to speak, but then they welcome each other with open arms, warm arms, hugs, smiling. But we can't even get a good morning for the morning.
And listen, and that's not the gospel. Because you're supposed to be able to love your enemy. Exactly. And this is my whole thing.
Do you guys love your enemies? He says, that's not the gospel. You're supposed to love your enemies. So you guys love your enemies? Tell us how you define enemy there.
Right. Well, people see I did a video on the Urban Gorilla channel about the whole, there's, for people who pay attention to like the no jumper verse and shit like that. You got a situation going on with Brick Baby right now. Right now, I'm good. With a brother right there, he interviewed me on no jumper with Flacco. Now, mind you, that's supposed to be my enemy. Right? Where we from in the streets do not get our arch rivals with each other, right? But I felt when I seen the situation we went through, I was invigorated to defend him. You see what I'm saying? Why? Because through the Holy Spirit, we learn to love our enemies.
I think it's because he's useful to you, Machiavelli.
You see what I'm saying? So if we're against y'all, if we're the odds, come love us.
That's right.
That's a Christ.
Hey, watch this. Not only did he say that, but look what he says at the very conclusion of what he says. Matthew 5:44. But I say unto you, love your enemies. Bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. Now, before, real quick. The problem with Christianity is in this verse is when they read that, they don't think about other black people.
When black Christians read that, they don't think about other black people. Hassad, you as a half white man probably shouldn't be saying stuff like that about the community.
They think forget white people before they done that. That's the problem. I want to go to the point though. Verse 47. And if you salute only your brethren only, I'm reading the NLT. If you're kind only to your friends, how are you different from anyone else? Even pagans do that. But you are to be perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect.
Basically, you're called to be kind to the people that dislike you and to the people that like you.
And that's perfect.
Can you believe this is a conversation Sakari is having? If you've watched a lot of Sakari, you've never heard them talk this way, have you? No, never. You know why? Because it's not how they talk, because it's not what they think. But they're talking this way now. Why? Because it's useful to them. Because this is how they want. They're saying that this should entail the Christians must speak to them. The Christians can follow all these verses without having to come and make video for Sakari's channel.
And this is a demonstration of imperfection. That's all it is. That's all that is right there. And
so we love them, but they're adversaries to us.
And we're showing our love.
Is able to defeat the lie every single time.
Able to evangelize. So if we're wrong, come evangelize us and take us from this Hebrew Israelite cult.
Save us.
And then addressing the boy too, like the whole, y'all doing it for views. Here's what we don't understand. Through the view, the views are, people talk about views, like views are empty. Like there's not a human being on the other side of that watching and getting the information.
Yeah.
So yes, we are doing
us, right? And I can vividly remember ICBK downtown, right? Holding hands, and then
of course, you and I are as one. Go to church for not to so that they can hear what they need to hear, so that they can hear what they've asked. Is that not you?
I probably had a.
That being said, peace and blessings to all.
Okay.
I do the topic.
So now we're going to switch over to Deacon Hakah's part. And like I said, tonight's long. I got the energy for it. So this is where Hakah is talking. All right. So I'm glad you're sticking in there. How you doing, Brandon? How you doing, Rachel? How you doing, Marcos? How you doing, Texas Chick? Oliver Wilson. What's going on? Speak Life Garden. How you doing? How you doing, everybody? How y'all doing? And thank you for Alan for keeping it going. Appreciate y'all. Much love. So this is Hakah, someone who's described as a deacon. I'm going to read a verse here that applies to him out of 1 Timothy. Deacons likewise must be dignified. Ask yourself, is Hakah act dignified? Dignified? Not double-tongued. That means you're straight. You're the same way. Is Hakah double-tongued? Absolutely. We'll do the debate. It'll be a peaceful dialogue. And then the second you get on there, hey, what's up with your wife? Not addicted to much wine. Hakah, are you addicted to much wine? One day I may reveal that Hakah does not fulfill the qualifications of that verse, but for now I'll leave it alone. Not greedy for dishonest gain. Buy the shirt 613. Lawless, not flawless. Stay fly and fitted as you keep the commands of the Most High. Not greedy for dishonest gain. They must hold the mystery of the faith with a clear conscience, and let them also be tested first. Let them serve as deacons if they prove themselves blameless. Let deacons be the husband of one wife. Oh, you can't be a polygamist. Sorry, Hakah, you're not a deacon. Managing their children and their households well. I have a video on that. I'll just hold it for now. For those who serve well as deacons gain a good standing for themselves and also great confidence in the faith that is in Christ Jesus. Let's watch
I knew the cops would be involved.
This is so weak, bro.
It's soft, bro. It's pathetic.
If it's soft that they don't want to talk to you, then how come you have disallowed the camps from talking to me? Is Sakari soft?
Pathetic. It's despicable.
I can't even imagine who made. I want to know who made the call. Like someone, because someone told someone probably like.
No, they probably
in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ.
What you mean to say is, whom one Westers ignorantly call Yahushai. Right? Is that what you meant to say? Yeah, I think that's what you meant to say. You know, he doesn't look exactly awake. I'll just say it that way.
Ignorantly thinks is a blue-eyed, blonde-haired white man.
Oh, so you just start off lying? Christians do not think that Jesus is a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white man. Maybe the Aryans do, but they're not Christians. So we don't think that. So stop lying about us.
With that being said, peace and blessings to all. Y'all see the title and topic of the video. The esteemed, the renowned, the all-knowing Marcus Aurelius. No, I'm joking. But the pristine and prestige Dr. Eric Mason calls the cops on Sakari Israelites. I got a lot of backstory. I got some behind the scenes information we're going to talk about today. We're going to look at the video. I'm sure you guys already seen it. So let's talk about that today. Yes, Eric Mason is Hassad's son. Let's just be clear.
Eric Mason is Hassad's son. I wonder why Eric Mason doesn't want to talk to Sakari. Here's the thing with you guys. Haka, here's the thing with you. We know that even if we do have a good dialogue with you, which is rare, but it happens, when you do the review of the dialogue, you devolve back into Sakari ethics, which is straight immorality. It's double-tongued. So Hassad and I had a very solid dialogue in Philly. When you guys reviewed it, you called me a Nazi and all kinds of other stuff. Now, some of that wasn't you. Some of that was Alazar and some other Sakari people. So even a good dialogue in the moment later on is going to devolve back into the same kind of approach that you guys have. Because you only act how you have to act to get the footage. Then once you have it, you go back to your other way. Like a dude who treats a girl nice, and then once he gets what he wants, says, B, get out. The second it's over. That's you with video footage.
On that, Dr. Eric Mason is Officer Hassad's son. We just want to make that clear. Every time they run into each other, it ain't good for doctor.
Well, if that's true, at least Hassad knows who all of his sons are.
For the doc. So they planned a Christian conference in Philly today. I think there might be something tomorrow as well. And we had surreptitiously,
what's that word?
Or secretly planned to invade, not go inside, possibly.
We had secretly planned to invade. Do you hear this?
They planned
listen to this,
a Christian conference in Philly today. I think there might be something tomorrow as well. And we had surreptitiously or secretly planned to invade, not go inside, possibly go inside like we did last time.
Not go inside, possibly go inside like we did last time. Remember how I said last time they went to the conference, they came inside and tried to get in for free? According to security, they were going to the different rooms trying to see what was where. Security's sense of it when they saw them was they were trying to find out which room I was at. I'm just telling you what security said. I wasn't there. I was teaching in my class when they happened to come in last time. And you expect us to be like, you know what? Let's do that conversation. Remember last time you were here when you just went past and tried to come into the conference with all your guys? Remember that? And then after it was over, you cursed us out and said all that. Remember that? Let's talk. It'll be great.
But just be out there holding camp in hopes that they would come and have a peaceful dialogue, a peaceful discussion, an equal and fair conversation, and contend for the faith, contend for the gospel. Now, when Hassad got off the airport, when Hassad got off the plane, Alazar, Guerrilla Hebrew, he got a phone call from a Christian apologist, right?
That's me. He's talking about me. And Haka, it wasn't a phone call, it was a message.
Saying, is Hassad in Philadelphia today?
Notice here what he thinks the question was. Is Hassad in Philadelphia today? Because that's in essence what I was asking him. Listen to this.
It was at that moment they knew that we were coming to pull them apart.
It was at that moment they knew we were coming to pull them apart. So first of all, he lied, and we all know that. And second of all, notice this, though. He understood what the question was. I hope someone watches this program all the way through and asks themselves, is vocab lying here, or is he telling the truth? And is Sakari filled from front to back, bottom to top, side to side, in the center, on the edges with liars? We think it is hilarious when you tell us about how you keep the law. His hat says 613, and he can't even keep thou shalt not lie. Maybe your hat should say 612.
Rotisserie style. Pull them apart rotisserie style. And so we're going to look at the video. Let's check out our mannerisms. I don't even think we had a microphone.
That's true. Check out our mannerisms. Well, I mean, we heard the conversation with the AV guy, so that's not really. Shout out to KIC for the super chat. Thank you. You're the second person of the day. Here's what you get. I'm going long. You're making it worth it. I appreciate it. Much love. Seriously, thank you. I do appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
We didn't have a microphone or anything like that. So I want to play the video and you guys tell me what you think. Why are these Christians scared to have conversation?
I'm not scared to have a conversation with any of you. Never have been, never will be. They're not either, but they're there to go to a conference they paid money for to get trained and equipped, not to make video fodder for your channel.
There's no microphone. We've had debates and discussions with these guys before where there was no insulting, name calling, yelling.
Maybe during, but not after. You can't keep it together consistently.
Or anything like that. So why are they scared to have a discussion? And Hassad just confirmed there was no microphone. Right? So let's talk about this, y'all. Let's show the footage if you guys haven't seen it. It's on Sakari's main channel. I just want to talk about how these Christians are scared and tuck and tail. Like the song, we put out a song called We Just Want to Debate. We Don't Want Violence. And somebody say, well, what does debate get you? Debate or discussion, because really a lot of these is not debates. Debates are very formal. A lot of interactions and
yeah, they are. Hakah, have you ever done a formal debate in your life? I've never heard you do one. And by the way, when you set up a formal debate, you don't get to decide the topic. It's a negotiating process between both parties. I say that because I was trying to set up a debate with him, and he would only agree to one or certain topics, and that's just not how it works. You have to negotiate, and if you don't, okay, fine. I'm okay with that.
Changes we have with Christians are just dialogue, discussion, and that's all we want. No violence, no bodily injuries, no ad homs or insults.
We don't want any ad homs or insults. How do you live with yourself?
Just intellectual, biblical.
Intellectual? Remember when you and I had a discussion about the mark of the beast and you started asking me about my family? Remember how you recently shared a picture of my dead family member to mock it? Remember that? Remember that, Hakah? The thing is, I could really go there with you. And depending how things turn out, maybe one day I'll have to. But you are so full of it.
Dialogue. That's all we want. Right, from the song Frontliner. So hit that like button, y'all. Let's get into this video. This is going to be my thoughts and my comments on this content. And also, too, they were telling their members to stay away. Yep. And the brothers got somebody who was in there, snuck out and went to talk to the brothers and was like, man, they be telling us to stay away from y'all. And y'all ain't what they're painting you out to be.
Don't know what he's talking about. It's not impossible, but I need to remind everybody of something. Whenever you hear a Sakari member retell an event that happened, Never, ever, ever take their word for it. So he is saying that, but we have no evidence that's what happened. I need everyone to remember that till the day they die. When you hear Sakari retell an event, you are a fool if you believe their version of the event without evidence.
So the Most High in Christ bless that brother, right? And hopefully he gets out of that white supremacist cult known as Christianity.
Hopefully he gets out of the white supremacist cult known as Christianity. And you wonder why they don't want to talk to you. Like, yeah, I understand, and that's why you're in the cult that you're in, vocab. And I was like, wait, what? Why are you talking that way? We don't need to talk that way to each other. Why? What is the reason for this? Please, no. We don't need to go there in that way. So it's like, come on, guys, get it together. I'm switching around because he's going to be on a different part of the screen here. And so I just want to have it line up a little bit better here. And the video he's going to play is going to be on a different part too. Okay, I think this will work for now. Okay, let's play this. Watch this. I've edited
So
this
is the video. It's from earlier today. So you can see I think this is the sergeant coming up to talk to the brothers as they're surrounded by cops because they just came to have a discussion. Now, one Christian might say, don't come up to our place of worship. Well, you Christians come up to our camps all the time with loud bull.
Hold on. I want everyone to understand what's going on here. Is everyone listening? He's saying, you guys come up to our camps all the time. He said, but you shouldn't go up to the place of worship. Everyone hear that? What is the problem with that logic there? What's the problem with that logic? Anybody know? Anybody understand what the problem is with that logic? Think about it now. When a Christian marked difference from going into someone's actual church building, you guys see that there's a difference there? I hope you understand that's different. One is a public place outside, right? And the other one is in a private place inside. These are different things, right? We understand that, right? I'm just rearranging the screen on the fly because I'm trying to get it to where it lines up better. All right. Now let's play this. So understand how radically different those two things are. Now, I'm okay with you being outside, whatever, meaning in a sense like I'm not, so offended, whatever. But I'm just making the point, like, these are clearly different things. Us talking to you on the street in public. The equivalent, Hakah, would be if we came up into one of your schools or on the outside of one of your schools. That would be the equivalent of what you're talking about.
Horns and all that. So you see the hypocrisy?
No.
Now, we've called you guys out for debates on live shows and tried to get a hold of you guys for discussions. And so what other choice do we have than to show up to your function?
We have no choice. He says in another place, we don't need. This is your only choice. I thought you didn't need to talk to us. Thought you didn't need to talk to Christians. Thought you didn't need it. Well, then what do you mean? What other choice do you have? Just don't talk then. It's like, stick to the script. Which one is it, huh?
He says, bro, when the police got there, the security for the Christians was so happy. Yeah, again, we're going to keep showing up. Now, the police weren't able to do anything because we know our rights, malicious intentions, wicked intentions, weak.
You definitely have wicked intentions. You may not be terrorists, even though your group's named after terrorists, but you still definitely have wicked intentions for sure.
Without the fear of God and not bold as lions and warrants and felonies, and you're not dealing with.
Wait. People in Sakari don't have warrants or felonies? Is that what you just said? I didn't hear that the first time. Hakah, I know for a fact there are people in Sakari who have warrants and felonies. I don't know why you just said that. That was weird. I didn't catch that on the first time. So I'm just saying, I'm not like the guy in the live chat who was just randomly slandering. I know that that's not true. So what are you talking about? Especially the felonies part. Bro, come on, man. Come on.
Gang members, you're dealing with men of the Lord.
And has not Sakari bragged about their affiliations with gangs before? Yes, you have. It's a point of pride for y'all. Didn't you yourself say we roll with killers in Sakari? Do you remember that? Don't you yourself often brag about how you know the price of current drugs on the market and supposedly I don't, so therefore you have one up on me? See, you want it both ways, but I know what you say. And even more than that, the Lord knows what you say, Marco.
Who are out there on business and standing on business. So we're not going nowhere.
It is business. Your whole religion's a business.
So let's take a listen. When the police come up to my camp, nobody better not say a goddamn word. Oh, okay. Let the leader of the camp talk. So I just wanted to put that out there for you young up-and-coming brothers who are doing this work out here in the highways and byways. These Roman centurions are going to try to scare you and test you and see that if you have knowledge of law.
First of all, from the video I saw, that's not how that particular cop acted. Now, look, some of the people in the audience may not like this. I'm not particularly pro-cop. I'm not trying to front on that. I'm not saying I want anarchy, but I have very strong feelings I don't really make known because of certain situations me and a lot of other people have had to be with, and I'm going to stop right there. But within that, I didn't see that kind of stuff going on in the particular video, number one. Number two, notice how he's referring to the cops as Roman centurions. That's a little bit disturbing, Hakka. You know why? Because your group was named after assassins who would stab Roman soldiers and centurions to death secretly. It's just weird for you to say that then.
Or knowledge of Constitution, and you should have some basic information on that. So you see Alazar goes to talk to him. And that's right, Hassad. This is why young blacks, Hispanics are fleeing from the Christian church. They will call...
Really? This is why?
A white man to gun you down just for saying, we want to talk to you guys about the white, blue-eyed, blonde-haired Jesus that you have in your church.
Listen how dishonest this guy is. You hear what he's saying? Is any of that true? Is any of that what was going on? He's just such a... You know why you have to act this way, Hakka? Because you don't have the knowledge and the information. So you have to speak this way with these straw men and these lies and these slander because you don't actually have the info. If you had the info and the facts and the data, you would just stick to that. You'd be confident in it. But you're not. I see right through you. You're afraid. You're scared you don't have it. So you resort to this. Stick with the facts, man.
Our people to bow down to. We want to talk to you guys about this plantation Christianity. We want to talk to you blacks, you BLACCs, you...
By the way, anybody know what BLACCs stands for according to his reckoning? I'm not going to say it, but you should look that up. Find out how Sakari defines BLACCs. It's super racist. Sounds like something a Southerner during antebellum slavery would say or something. And it shows that, it makes sense why people may not want to have a conversation with you.
Looking as cool Christians.
Oh, he just defines it. Sorry, I'm going to go back there a little bit.
And that's right, Hassad. This is why young blacks, Hispanics are fleeing from the Christian church. They will call a white man to gun you down just for saying, we want to talk to you guys about the white, blue-eyed, blonde-haired Jesus that you have in your church.
Talk to the Israelites. It's enough.
No. I ain't gonna lie. I be praying. Listen, bro. I be praying that vocab.
Hey, Hakka, everyone knows that you don't pray, first of all. Unless it's spelled P-R-E-Y. Then maybe you do. But I don't think that's how you meant it, number one. Number two, if you pray that I show up to your camps, then how come your camps aren't allowed to talk to me? And if you would agree to a formal debate with formal rules, I would debate you on a large platform or channel. And you know that's true. The reason I don't debate you on the topic you're trying to push was God a racist, because I know exactly what you're going to do. It's so obvious. You're going to go something like this. Racism means to prefer one group of people over the other. Look, God preferred the Israelites in the Old Testament. Therefore, God's racist. I won. We won an academic title, and we don't want to fall into your presuppositional trap that's just linguistic, and we actually want to have a good debate. So I would debate you. Why? Because you meet the qualifications I've set up in 2024. Because I used to debate everybody. I can't do that anymore. If you're in leadership of one of the groups or have significant social influence over the movement, I'll debate you. The other exception is if you have education that's relative to the issue or relevant to the issue.
Looking as cool Christians.
In order to dismantle the Hebrew Israelites, it's enough.
No. I ain't gonna lie. I be praying. Listen, bro. I be praying that like vocab, Sam Shimon, Faithful to God, Michael Howard, any of these low-level pseudo-Christian apologists, I pray all the time that God would make them try to blitz my camp.
Pseudo. You know who's pseudo? The guy who says that Martin Luther took the books out of the canon. You said that Martin Luther removed the Apocrypha from the canon. That's the pseudo guy. You know who's pseudo? The guy that said that Josephus called Jesus a midget. That's the pseudo guy. You. They're not the pseudo ones. And if you're praying for me to come to your camps, then why aren't your camps allowed to talk to me?
Or any camp when I'm there. I pray that. That's a fervent prayer of mine. So we can show the world how to destroy the false doctrine of Christianity.
So see their motivation versus our motivation.
Let some Christians be anywhere. Listen, I had an episode called Hunting Down Christians, where if I see a Christian outside evangelizing and teaching, I hop out, I bounce out and run them down. Why aren't you guys like that?
Oh, we are. I go to your camps, and your camps aren't allowed to talk to me. Our guys show up at IUIC, your brothers, and they call the cops on us or won't come outside.
Oh, we're just going to equip you guys with some tools but we're also going to tell you guys to never use those tools. Is that proper training?
No one ever said that, man.
Is that proper training? Not inviting that devil to this conference. On the side note.
Okay, yeah. We're outside of 50 and called Philly Graffiti on, so, but we're out here.
He's talking about me there. So now I got to rearrange the screen with videos in a different place, but here.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, I went to Sergeant's Cap is pulling up. It's a whole thing. Yeah. Well, that's because of Epiphany called it. I know you will. No. If you pay attention to what I said, I didn't say he was in the airport. I said he lives in North Carolina. I just didn't answer the question. Really, I just didn't respond. I was here too. Whatever their spot is on. I just thought you was gonna be here, so I didn't want to blow it.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, I would never. If I knew you were gonna be there.
Yes, sir. No, but here's the problem. I know you wouldn't run, but I'm not here to talk to you per se because we know you're always down to talk. Now, there's other individuals that, for whatever reason, they don't like engaging.
Now, I will give it the vocab, ho ass, no swag, Malone, right? He don't like when I say that. All right. I'll just say vocab. I'll just say mouth.
He doesn't like it when I call him ho ass. He doesn't like that. My skin's pretty thick, first of all. Second of all, it's just so funny. Like, well, because he doesn't like that, so I better not. Maybe because you should not be double-tongued as someone who's supposed to be a deacon, you know? Maybe you should Be respectful as you're claiming you are, you know? Maybe you should be a professional like you say you are. Don't you call yourself a professor now? Maybe you should act more professorial, huh? Maybe that's why. I don't care, really. It shows it more about you. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't say anything about me. It just says something about you, you know?
One, all right? Mal won, right? I will give it to him. He will always be willing to catch the fade. Now, well, most of the time, because he won't take the debate. Remember, he called me out. He didn't take the debate, and I'm still offering his debate.
Haka, you're not someone who's known to do moderated debates. You have to negotiate. It's part of the debating process. I was setting up a debate with Polite before things went down with him. And even Polite, who's really big, he understood we had to negotiate. So him and I were negotiating the exact term of the debate. He said something. I was like, no, not that. We had to agree on the title together. And we finally settled on something. We were working on it. Obviously didn't work out. My point is, even he understood you have to both agree on the title. That's part of it, and that's how it goes. You don't get to tell the other person, here's the one thing we're going to do. But again, what it shows is you don't have experience in this area, my friend. You just don't. You're not professional. You're not academic. You're not scholastic, but you don't understand any of that. If you would let yourself grow and learn, you'd understand that's part of the process, is that element. I'm not afraid to debate you at all. But I'm also not going to fall into this weak trap you're trying to set up because I want to have a professional, academic, good debate. Until you understand that, you're just going to go around telling the lies that I'm afraid to debate you. I'm not afraid to debate you in a million years. You know I'm not. You also know I'm not dumb enough to fall into your trap.
Is the God of the Bible a racist? Sakari leadership is willing to debate that with any. I've seen Christians laugh at us when we say that, but they just won't take that debate. I wonder why. I'm trying to set up a debate right now with Minister Michael Holloway and versus Officer Hassad. And for some reason, he's saying he doesn't want to take that title. I'm telling Pastor Holloway, like, we don't need you, really.
Then
but
why are
we're
you
only
outside Epiphany begging for them to come out, calling me on the phone to get a footage if you don't need us? You can't have it both ways, man.
Willing to have this conversation with you because no other pastor would do it. And I guess Holloway doesn't want to do it either. We're messaging, inboxing right now.
I talked to Holloway about this. I told him, don't take that debate with that title. Debate the guy, sure, because I know he would do well against young Hassad. He would do very well against you as well. He would do very well. But we all already know what you're up to. You're not as clever as you think you are, and you're definitely not professional. Again, Haka, can you show us one debate you've ever done that's a formal debate, especially in front of a live audience? You haven't. You're the novice in this. You're not the professional. You're not the expert in this. You're a novice in this. So you got to understand your position and really who you are. So you can say whatever you want, but that's why. And why won't most pastors do it? Because they know how you guys operate. Holloway's different. He's from Detroit. He's a real man. He's a good guy. He would do well, but you're gonna have to work, man. And if not, then okay, then just go around with your same old.
And he's like, we're gonna do this topic, and that topic. I'm like, first of all, who are you?
The pastor of a church?
You're like really
who actually goes
irrelevant
to Grand Rapids Theological Seminary. That's who he is.
Big scheme of things. You're just like a pastor we can punch on when we can't find any top level big name pastor.
Do you see what I mean? How they are? Do you see what I mean? We're respectful.
So sadly, I don't think we'll ever get that debate, brothers and sisters, which if you say God is all love, you should just be able to use John 3:16 all night during that debate.
That'd be an interesting debate, Haka. Does John 3:16 support the Sakari position in the Greek?
And destroy us. But I think they understand what's going on in the Bible, and they're just playing this Christian game for the money.
Haka, you probably shouldn't accuse other people of doing stuff just for money. I mean, you wouldn't want anyone to bring up your own past, would you, about that?
I'm convinced that they believe we're the Israelites. Salvation's only for the Israelites.
Okay, let's do that debate. Is Haka an Israelite? He said, I'm convinced we're the Israelites. How about that debate? Is Marco Linear an Israelite? Can he prove it? That's a great debate.
To keep the law. The Most High is racist, not dealing with other nations. I'm convinced they believe all that, but there's money involved. The Christian church is $1 billion business. The Christian church is $1 billion business. Let's continue.
So just everyone hear what he just said? Well, yeah, there's money involved, so, they wouldn't do that. Here's the thing, man. You guys, if you're going to be like this, you have to understand we get to respond in kind. Do you understand what I'm saying? You can't just be this way and then think, well, okay, they won't say anything, They won't say anything. He's talking about, there's money involved, so they won't do it. Let me show everyone a little something about money then, okay? Here's the thing. Until you guys get reeled in, I'm going to go like this from now on, okay? There's money involved. Everyone, look at Sakari's GoFundMe. Look how much money they've raised. $99,520 on a $15,000 goal. Still going on. Still going on. Started in November of 2015, and people just give and give and give. That's your GoFundMe. Almost $100,000. There's money involved. That's why you want the clicks and the views, because there's money involved. How dare you? This is the part of the conversation where I'm on the phone.
If you're in Christ, if you're a Christian, then why is it so hard to forgive?
And this is where Hakat's listening to it. And he's going to comment.
So Vocab's on the phone. He's saying, we called Eric Mason a fat bastard. I don't remember. I'm sure that might have came out.
I don't remember, but that might have came out at some point. You know what? If anyone approached me and said, Vocab, you called so-and-so a fat bastard, I would say, no, I didn't. You know why? Because I ain't never called nobody that, except for maybe the guy in the Austin Powers movie. Get in my belly. To those of you who don't know what we're talking about there, let me just play the clip one more time. This is after last time at Epiphany. Listen to what Alazar said about Eric Mason, so you can see that they did say that, Haka.
And you're lucky I wasn't in Philly. Because if I wasn't in Philly, I would have stood right in that goddamn hotel and said, one of y'all go get the fat man and bring his fat ass out here because my young boy want to talk to him. Bring the fat man. That's what I would have said. Bring that fat, four-eyed, bald-head, soft-ass nigga out here. Lion-ass nigga out here, man. I ain't here to play with you.
Now, it's technically true they didn't call him a fat bastard. I got the insult wrong. I hadn't listened to that clip in a while. But after I talked to him, I went and listened, and it's like, oh, it was a fat bastard. But it was something pretty much like it. So, Haka, they said it.
So basically what they're saying, everybody, is that because we've called names.
No, it's way deeper than that, and you know it.
They won't engage or talk to us.
By the way, they didn't say that. That's me saying the rationality of their position. They never said that. That's me explaining to you why it's rational, the position they have.
But the whole conference, which you guys see, the conference right here, this whole conference says defending the faith for black identity cults such as Hebrew Israelites. So I don't understand. You're either going to have to defend it. Do you mean just put out videos, not engage? That's not defense.
Well, is that what you do? You've never had a formal debate.
And when people say I'm in a cult, that's worse than you calling me a so-called bad word, a curse word.
Oh, really? Then if that's the case, well, you do the same thing to us. You literally just called Christianity a cult multiple times in this video. So I guess you've done both then, huh? Don't try to.
We don't get all butthurt about it.
You don't?
Matter of fact, Vocab Malone called me Demon Deacon or Deacon.
No, Deacon Hashatan. Deacon Hashatan. Because you are like your father, the devil.
Satan, Deacon Hashatan.
Yep, there you go.
I didn't get all butthurt about it.
Really? Then how come it's like 6 years later and you're still bringing it up? I made a whole video that showed how his characteristics are that of like Satan. So it wasn't just a random insult. It was showing how directly that's how he acts.
So either we're going to say, all right, some insults might be thrown, but I have to do God's work to get the message out.
Doing God's work doesn't equal getting you views, sir. It's not the same thing. Maybe you think doing God's work is getting views. If you're really serious, then you would be willing to have a conversation with Eric Mason off camera privately. Because since it's not about the views, since it's about understanding or something, huh?
Defend Christianity. Or you can say, all right, I'll have a debate with you if you go amongst the world and say you won't insult or use so-called profanity. And we would definitely say we agree with 1,000 witnesses.
That means nothing, though. Your word is worthless, sir. You may not like me, especially after this video, but you guys all know, well, Vocab keeps his word. He tries to be honest.
And keep our word. That's fine. Alazar did a whole debate. Most of our debates, from low-level Christian to PhD scholars, there's not a lot of insults and so.
There's not a lot of insults.
Swear words. So I think that is a futile excuse, an ill attempt to not try to engage with us. We will sign an NDA.
Not talking to me when I show up to your
camp.
We
will sign an NDA.
They'll sign an NDA. Again, it's worthless.
Vocab Malone is desperately trying to get the prophets to leave Dr. Eric Mason's church.
Hassad, you're a straight liar. That is not what I said on that phone call. Nothing close to it, not even once. Why would you say such a thing without knowledge of that? Ask Alazar if I said anything like that. I never said once they should leave. Not a one time. I'm not desperately trying to get anyone to leave. Why would you say that? Because truth has no value to you.
That's what it sounds like to me.
No.
Vocab Malone is on the phone pleading with Alazar to please don't take this man's head off his shoulders.
The opposite is true. People were on the phone pleading with me to have people please come outside.
And just leave.
Liar. You're a liar. Never said any such thing, nor would I.
This is the same thing that happened when IUIC went to Geno Jennings' church.
And the same thing happened when I went to IUIC's camp in San Diego. They called the cops on me, and it was just me, David, and John. And then when I went to Dallas to IUIC's, and when I say I'm talking about the HQ, and was out in the parking lot, 2 men came out and trailed me and followed me around with a camera, but would not speak a word. And then when I saw IUIC in downtown Phoenix at Roosevelt Row on First Friday, they grabbed the police over and claimed I was harassing them when I asked them why they believe what they believe about the Bible. Wasn't standing close to them or nothing, and it was just me by myself. There's another time that's escaped me off the top of my head where they, something with the cops, with IUIC. But that's how they do. So
all of this pop and fly shit, all of your TikToks, I'll be seeing Dr. Eric Mason's TikToks and all of that and all of that. And then he'll talk about us and you know, like he's really with it. Like he's really about that action. So yeah, that video is going viral right now.
Again, notice the emphasis on views. The video is going viral. Not really. Viral is viral. A lot of people watching it right now. Yeah, that's true. The brother needs to stop drinking that nighttime cough syrup before he goes live. You know what I mean?
That video is going viral right now on the Sakari main channel. It's the first video there. If you want to watch the whole thing, watch the whole thing. So yeah, I just wanted to touch bases on that. All you Christian apologists, look, we'll agree to your terms as far as you being concerned about insults or so-called curse words, which that's 1% of
1%. Here's the other thing. He just does not understand. Like a professional academic debate, you wouldn't even need to sign anything about, oh, I'm not going to curse, insult, talk about your family. You wouldn't even need to, because it wouldn't enter into it. It'd be highly irregular if something like that happened. You know, the fact that you think it's weird that someone, the reason is because of how y'all act. When I debated Shadid Lewis, a well-known Muslim apologist, in person, 2 debates back to back in Phoenix, we didn't have to sign anything like that. Why? Because I knew he wouldn't act that way. When I debated atheist Omar Call, Sean Esplin, when I debated Spencer Hawkins, when I debated Forrest, when I debated the guys at the AZ, what is it called? Apostasy, the atheist podcast, or the ones on the non-believers or whatever. Now I'm forgetting what it was called. They ran out of the secular student lights. I never had to do that because I knew they would never act that way. It's only y'all.
our ministry. And you guys call us everything but a child of God, and we don't get butthurt about that.
Yeah, you do.
We'll agree to your terms as far as your concerns on that. But we want these dialogues. We want these discussions.
I thought you don't need us.
We want these conversations. Reach out to Sakari Leadership at sakariseattle@gmail.com. Reach out to Sakari Leadership at sakariseattle@gmail.com. Right? Let's end this, y'all, by giving all flawless, not lawless, the whole armor. Put it on. Make sure you guys go get dipped in butter. Flawless, not lawless, the whole armor.com. Shabbat Shalom.
Okay. A lot more I could say, but I've been going a while, and I need to make sure I get to church at time. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. Thank you for the 2 super chats. Thank you, everybody. Much love. God bless. I'll talk to you later. Have a beautiful day. It's been real. Get some sleep. Get some rest. You know. All right, y'all. Peace out. Shalom.